Hello, everyone. Is hi is oh, did this not open up? Okay, it's not charged. It is 7:54, almost 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm on vacation, so I'm here and trying to have a conversation with you, as always. So tonight I will be talking about Unfit to Lead. But first and foremost, let me wish all of you, as I did yesterday, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Hopefully, we will turn a new leaf in the next year. We will finally get our leaders to listen, if at all, if there's one. Those that were elected to lead will be able to lead. But as far as I'm concerned, and I'm kind of just looking in, just in retrospect, the last 11 months have been very, very tumultuous. Really, 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 in so many words, problematic. But, every time there is a birth, a new birth, it gives hope, a beginning of a new generation of either that family or a joint family. And every time there's an election, I always tell people election is not a football game. At a football game, you have 90 minutes. In that 90 minutes, um, you can make a mistake and you can always come back to rectify that mistake. And you can give a face bump to your team and say, good, 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 good game. Go home, practice, and come back. Whereas in the election, it's not the same. You are making decisions that gets to impact millions of people and for generations to come. You know, I was lively yesterday, and a young man that we all have advocated for, stood with, collected money for, elevated, helped to get out of Liberia. Okay, came under my post and say, "Oh, Merry Christmas, sis, yeah. Hopefully, you will not be angry in 2025." Anyone, anyone who has a heart, anyone who cares for the people, anyone who cares for the nation, the well-being of the nation, anyone who cares for the family, if they see the leaders of a nation for which they reside, that their hope is in, that will shape the future when they see that nation not on the right path, if they truly care and it's truthful, they will take a step back. Something inside of them will be stirred or sat down. The hope for the next generation will be stirred inside out. The bleakness of where you see, where it seems that there's no hope. When the word that you borrow money from is telling you all the money you borrowed for 177 years, it has not materialized. It has ended up in few pockets. That over 60% of your population live on less than less than $2 a day. They can afford to eat a full meal, 3.5 million. It's something that's not staring inside of you. And if it tells you your brothers and sisters may not be directly or your bloodline, but the citizen in your nation, 300,000 of young people that could likely be, Martin Colley, that could likely be your child or your grandchild or your niece or your nephew, okay, are addicted to drugs, that every morning you wake up, yeah, people are dying everywhere. Because somebody would tell me people are dying in America. People are even on drugs in America. Majority of the time, the people on drugs in America, okay, most will have mental illness. Most will indulge too much in the party, because I tell people the goodness of America is to the extreme. You have to find a balance. And the ugliness is to the extreme. You also have to find a balance. Okay? But in Liberia, it's not the same. It's not the same. We see young people literally falling off and dying due to self-medication. Drinking. Hey Lasso, Merry Christmas, bro. Season greetings. Look at it when Martin calling under my post yesterday. I went off and just deleted his post. So today I was listening to somebody who said these words. Be angry. Be very angry. Okay. You know, Nelson Mandela, who there is a philosophy that we teach in middle school to children that says the Mandela way. The very Mandela told to the world, if a man is denied the life that he believes he's supposed to live, he becomes an outlaw. This is Mandela. This is Mandela. That's the we teach children in high school. The Mandela were based on their okay, going to jail, advocating for his people, and coming out and be inclusive to build a nation together. He said that. But he come on my post and say, I hope you will not be angry. No, Martin, I won't be, I will be angry. I will be angry that you pass some money out of churches and you are living a good life and the rest of life you're not struggling. I will be angry when I would say, what happened to you yesterday? Because you see everybody lying now. I would say, where you went to in Liberia, maybe you were lying to us to suck us dry as you did. And you would and tell us, okay, the penny I gave you at that time, that penny was a lot of money based on the value, what it meant at the time to you. Okay, now I'm going to stop here because that's enough of that tonight. So I want you all to listen to this man who wrote this, okay, and Unfit to Lead, assistant leadership in Liberia. The Senate is unfit to lead. The House of Representatives is unfit to lead. But most of all, the president of Liberia is grossly unfit to lead. But I will play this. Let me share my video first. If you are here, please, yes. Yeah, that's what Martin Collins said. The one who was saying yesterday, they were, and then I would say everything that he told her was a lie. Even his kidnapping was a lie. When he said the people stole him was a lie. When he said the people went to his house was a lie. So he was just making up story based on what he's saying now, because the same thing is happening to other people in Liberia, and he's not talking. Okay. So I am gonna leave it at, so I'm gonna go ahead and share. All right, and I need to play a video. Look, I need my laptop. I think my finish on these laptops, so I'm not able to play my video. But what I'm gonna do is I will purposely just buy a laptop just for Facebook, so I can have my work, my schoolwork, and all of that. My job does not allow me. It's anything outside of my job. I mean, I had a bigger memory that I could do graphic work on it, but it won't allow me to use it for stuff like this. It has firewall. It won't allow me at all. So the last laptop I used, I don't think I bought. I don't think it has enough memory. So that one is already gone. Okay, and people don't understand what we do here. It's a very expensive work. I pay close to $200 a month. Okay, yes, close to $200 a month. No, I didn't insult your mother. If that mean if I insulted your mother and father, then you insulted me. Take it to your mom and your pa. And I repeat it. Take it to your mother and your father. Because even if it comes to age, your mom and your pa and myself equal. My post and being stupid, and I don't like that. I warn you about that. So I told you, whatever you say, take it to your mom and pa. If taking it to your mother and your father is an insult, then you insulted me, who has a 39-year-old child that's not even your age, Martin. So that's what I'm telling you. I didn't insult you, mom and pa. Exactly what you told me. I said, take it back to your mom and pa. I don't, you know me. From the time you know me, the Joseph Boaka, the Charles Taylor, the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the Amos Sawyer, the Reverend Deeks, all of them know me. Okay. These are people who I sat with face to face, in person. Okay. Even the Prince Johnson, I sat with him face to face in person. James Baker, the Secretary of State, I dined wine and down on the table with him. You don't know me. You don't know my story. Why I advocate the way I advocate. If you come on my post and say something, I say, take it to your mom and pa. I'm somebody mother and somebody wife, somebody grand. I told you again, Martin Colley, every time you come on my post with crazy, I will take it to your mind, because these are the people who are in the scene, in the scene league with me. That's it. Like I say. So yeah, my children, you would never see my children here talking trash like that, especially with people that stood out for them, people who put their neck on the line. I remember when you say you were kidnapped, men are calling me at 11 o'clock in the night. Lofa, everybody calling me to stand up at a voice that was loud enough to talk for you. And you can't honor my post. I hope you will be tired of being angry. So say you are fine now, in the diaspora has left you alone, who are fine, can get up in the morning, go to our 9 to 5 job, left you in Liberia, never spoke for you, and then we were angry for you. You would have been fine. You would have stayed right there. When we were calling people to help out, okay, we were angry. All of a sudden now, you are in Europe, you are getting solid education, you pack your sister, your girlfriend, your baby, you're sitting fine. We would have done the same thing. Okay, Randy, we would have done the same thing. But because we were angry for you, for the way you and your friends were being treated. I see you, the Carlos, the what his name, Emmanuel Gwankwe. I will see you, the Josiah Joker. I see you, see all of you, and I'm happy for you. Wherever you find yourself, that's what some of us were advocating for. I'm not advocating for money. I'm not advocating. I told you the day I want a job, I will go to the librarian people. I will put myself on the line and I will ask them to vote for me. But you have the audacity. You have gone so arrogant, okay, to the point that you don't respect anybody. You don't even remember some of the people who put themselves on the line for you. I saw you the other day on a roof post. Right in Tabitha, the low dollar you gave me, let me give it back. At the time that she gave that dollar, you don't know what it meant to her. And at the time she gave that dollar, we know what it meant for you. But oh, young man, you are now a rich man. But I learned that, and I always told my children, I have some of the smartest kids, and I think they got it from their father or they got it from me. And we see here in America, Lufa will tell you, and most of the professional people on here will tell you this. They will tell you, you can be the, in fact, most of the Fortune 500, 100 company do not like to hire know-it-all, the A student. You can take it to college, okay? That's why the A student, most of them will tell you, go start your own business because they are hard to learn, but they will get the B students, okay? Attitude is everything, all right? Attitude is everything. All the children that come on Facebook that are cross pathway, I don't say nothing. Even the Henry Costa, when he first came here, who sat on this platform raised money for you? That was me. A lot of people didn't know him in America. I had the platform. We start here. The Lofa Julia, the Emery Nicole, you name them, the Do JJ, you name all of them, Hawa Mensa. Yeah, we are here on this platform. Gwen Smith, Ruth Bangba, we got on this platform. We raised 24. In fact, we raised more than 50,000. I just what we're on social media on GoFundMe. I know what we did in the back. I know how much money I sent to you. I still got the money. Okay. So today, your people are in, and our people are suffering. Our people are standing in line. I study in lot to eat. The same thing you spoke again yesterday. You know, I told my daughter Rosa the other day, Ben. Let me tell you something. Anybody who won't come on, I told my daughter Rosa the other day, there is something that is wrong with Liberia, okay? Because the so-called LU, majority of the people who have led or been at the head of leadership since the last 40 years, or since the Second Republic, since Jordan took over, have been the so-called soup and lean soup group. They have been advocates. They call themselves at the time. The Gafwan, the Alawe Tokpa, the Tuba Nya, the you name them, the Kofi Woods, you name all of them. Where the other one is, the one where they took the position from, where my brother friend where the gentleman in, the one who was with defense minister, who ran, they took the how you call it, taking people money. It seems that majority of the people that go to tell you from soup who were one advocates, they are all corrupt. I'm the one who says so. Or they don't know what they are doing. I'm the one who's saying it. Sending my pay from my mouth. Because if it was so, everything that they preach, while giving the opportunity, Liberia would not be in today. Okay? Liberia would not be as backward as it is today. Look at little Burkina Faso. We don't know the whole story, but we know for a fact the young man there, okay, they are now calling him the incarnation of Thomas Sankara. Just pay off $4.7 billion of what his country owed since it's independent. He didn't go begging. He didn't go asking. What he did was he added value to the natural resources. He said, no, nobody not taking our diamonds from here. Nobody not taking our gold from here. Okay, I'm sending it to you. Lufa, don't give me hard time here. I come and send it to you right now. No excuse. Okay. That young man, okay, what really cool is this is a young man in your 20s, I believe. Okay, a young man. We went around the world borrowing money. The very people who named your calling today, Ellie had to tap into their need, the repetition for the world to see that you were halfway serious, okay, to give us money, to waive money that we owed. You know how that was done? Liberia got more money than the Marshall Plan gave to Europe to rebuild. It got billions of dollars. The very people today are in power. You ain't got no problem with it because my son, maybe you're getting your own cut from the back. That's what you're used to. All right? You're coming in the public, you scream. That's the LU style. That is the LU style. All right? I listened to my brother Gafwan the other day. I was so perplexed because I had so much hope for him. All right? Not to come back to government. These are people who work in government who. And the funny thing is, everybody that I know, when you work here, majority of the people in the developed world are going into government. All right, they go in government after they have gone out and built something. They have reference points. They are able to build something that will materialize. Look, here it is. Ben, if you want to come on here, we are. I'm going to send it to you. Anybody who wants to come on, please do. Okay. Now, to even have the nerve to come under my post and say, yeah, Merry Christmas. I hope you start being angry. I will be angry. I should be angry. If I'm a mother, where I know where my children are. Okay. If I am the mother who knows where my children sleep, where they eat. All right. And I have kids, not babies. When a woman in Liberia, a mother of 6, is telling the word, she does not know where her children are going to eat. 6 kids, one woman don't know where her children will eat. And you say start being angry. That means you have no heart, my dear. That means everything has been about you. And anytime you come under my post and tell me You're angry, I will refer it to your mother and father because those are my age group. You and I not the same age group. We cross paths because of my being angry and fighting for people like you, not knowing that you will go out and become the very thing that you fought against yesterday. You're carry on. Continue to be a rebel, you a Rambo, whatever you call yourself. But that's fine. Now, look, I send that to you. I am here. I wanted you all to listen to this man. Okay. This man, I this is apparently he had sent an inbox to me 2020. And you all know at the time I was a hot mess. But as God would have it, he made a post and somebody sent it to me. And I got in contact with him tonight. Okay. I want you to remember this. According to statistic right now that he just pulled, last year, 2023, Liberians in the sent 800 million. Guys, we almost sent $1 billion to Liberia. Almost sent $1 billion to Liberia. Y'all listen and hear it. Look how you can come on down. We'll play the next. I think those people, the Bwaka, they are all unfit to lead. Everything they told us, he have been participating all this while, have been a lie that he had experience, that he could lead. He's not able to lead. All right, here.
Training to get their own living. When I last look at the statistics for last year, I discovered that 800 million.
Martin, go engage somewhere. I don't have time to deal with you today. So why would I even give you the latitude? Go somewhere.
100
Please.
million United States dollars.
Go take it to your mind and buy engage. I'm the one who's talking. This is my platform. I don't have time to do
remitted back here.
You all hear that?
Guess what?
Listen.
Most of that money there, they will stay here. And I'll tell you, it go right back outside. You know why? Because we have foreigners controlling our economy.
Correct.
So the benefit to Liberia is minimal, it's negligible. This
look, I will send you this link. I want you to please play. It's 12 minutes, but it's power packed. Maybe, yeah, it's about the burning of the place, the South symbolic it is, what we need to do, and not just let it go. But go ahead. Lofa, welcome. Let's see here. Welcome. I came on tonight. I love your classes.
Thank you, Sister Cindy. I really want to focus on what's happening in Liberia and not to focus on Martin Colley and his derogatory comments. The only reason why I made mention of him is because you said that he actually made that statement, and obviously anybody who is upright would know better than Martin Colley to have made the statement he made. He probably, again, this is a society we find ourselves in. I really wish you will consider bringing Martin on, give him the link to come to defend his statement when he claimed that, you know, he was actually sending out seasoned greetings to you, but then saying, don't be angry. You know, it don't make sense, but I think this is the society we find ourselves in, where people see no reason, you know, to go beyond themselves. It's all about individual gains when it comes to certain things. And that's why I wrote at the bottom of your live screen and say, now I'm upset that you woke some of us up in the middle of the night, okay, because you wanted us to reach out and call people and say, okay, this is happening. And when in reality, Martin Colley is telling other people that these things are not even true. They did not happen. We use it as an opportunity to get away. But let's go to what is actually happening today in Liberia and compare it to what President Weah and other people did, or what Madam Shalif and other people did. And everyone's trying to justify these things as though they're supposed to be okay.
Exactly.
As though the things that happened yesterday and the ones that are happening today are different. The people today are enjoying themselves. They're celebrating. And the people yesterday We're far better off, the likes of Martin Colley and other people. Look at the university. Look at the university. It's still shut down. I'm not saying the level of anger. I dare you, in any city or state, shut down the university for no apparent reason and tell people that you're trying to renovate the university. That should have been a part of the plan. During the summertime, when people are not enrolling in classes, you should use that opportunity to carry on renovation. But here are young people, and this is an institution where Martin Colley is proud he graduated from. But that institution is currently shut down. You would think that we are supposed to be upset about these kind of things. We are supposed to have people who are, in quotation, activists and advocates asking for all Liberians to come together to stand against this government and hope that they would do something to make sure that those young people have the opportunity to enroll in schools so that they can have opportunity to have a better future. Because not all of us will have the opportunity to travel out of the country to seek better lives. But this is not the case. Everybody's not okay. Not everybody have gained what they expected of other people. They needed relevance and other things in order to propel themselves to where they feel like, okay, at this point in time, I can do what I want to do because I feel like I have gained that momentum and where I'm at. That in itself speaks volume of who we are as Liberians. The state-run university is still shut down today, and we're here having this conversation.
Yep,
It's some kind of joke. The state-run university, and we're talking these things. How many young people may have the opportunity to tell the stories like that of Martin Colley, where other people saw reason to wake up in the middle of the night and pick up phone to call people and say, look, these things are happening. How is it that we can help a young man who deserve to be listened to? But here it is today. The same hand that was handing out that support is now the hands that is being baited for whatever reason. But we must think about where we find ourselves today and how we want to transform Liberia if we sincerely believe in the true transformation that we talk about. You understand? So I think the focus for you tonight hopefully will be on Liberia transformation and the current events. That it's kind of repetitive, where people are doing the same things and they're expecting different results, but then they're surrogates who are beneficiaries of the handouts or the backdoor handouts, the desire for employment, would then say and make these kind of derogatory statements about what someone says, how they behave, their appearance, and all of these nonsense. It just don't make no sense. No sense at all. At what point in time do we start to realize that it's not about us? It's about the next generation of people. The same way the previous generation failed us, we are right on track to fail the next generation of people. I heard Gaffron. I heard this dude was celebrating the fact that less than even, I don't even want to say 1% or 0.5% of the population participated in a radio poll. And this brother took upon himself to write on the social media, appreciating the fact that people consider him as Minister of the Year. Are we serious? This is a man who deals with number. I mean, how does it add up?
Be dealing with numbers,
right? How does it add up? If you are trying to quantify what is being stated, let us first start with the institution or how the poll was conducted. How many people honestly contributed to this call that we are talking about that you're using to justify your performance? For a person who worked in the Western world, a professional young man who claimed to have worked and successfully made it, okay? How is it that you can justify your performance based on few individuals who classify you as the minister of it based on that's what you're going to do? I mean, for those of you who are the mathematicians, the economists, the people who, deal with numbers, Somebody convinced me. How did that happen?
But Lofa, let me come in really quickly.
Go ahead.
This man.
Let me fix my camera. Go ahead. Let me fix my camera while you
this man was literally just put in that position less than 4 months ago. So based on what are the criteria, first and foremost? People can just call him out of stupidity and say, oh, who is the best minister? Based on what? What are you voting on? What are the criteria? Okay. How do you vote on something? When we do survey, we are trying to reach somewhere. Okay. Even if it's quantitative, there are certain things that we're trying to quantify. What are we trying to quantify? What are we trying to qualify? What are they voting on? Oh, because yesterday, all we are minister then, they were the minister of the year. So today, minister, we are doing the same thing and anticipating different results. How is that? And the last time I listened to Kafwan, this is a brother. This is a friend of my brother. That's how I see him. And I listened to him. I was very perplexed listening to him, repeating the same old thing that got us here. Taking loan, taking loan, taking loan, taking loan, taking loan. Nothing substantive for us to look at to say, okay, we're going to invest in small businesses. Okay, and how are we going to do it? What do Liberia need at this point? How can we rebuild our country? We need mechanics, we need engineers, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need nurses assistants, we need neurologists. Okay, we need mechanic farming, we need people who understand agriculture so we can feed ourselves. Okay, we need to have roads. How are we going to generate the funds? Are we going to palletize or do the 2-3 phases of our iron ore that the process will take place in Liberia? Okay, our rubber. Are we going to put in factories? We're going to demand that the people come. At least the first and second phase of the processing is done in Liberia, so we can hire more people. Okay, we're not hearing that, but we spent 800. We're spending what, $6 billion or $8 billion, and all of that's going to be loan. Like Lofa said, we failed the first. The last 6 generations have failed our people, our children. So we're going to also fail our children. We're right on the money to fail our children. Lofa, come back. I'm here.
But Sister Cindy, though, speaking to the failure on the part of, and I always include myself when I speak of failure, because I always say to my dad, because a lot of you refuse. Yesterday, what you continuously said was, hey, that the people think I don't want to be a part of it. Yeah. Okay. And because you made that statement to have been a part of your day-to-day lifestyle. So today, we your children, okay, we are victim of the system. Okay. And it almost, not almost, but it is a continuous process. To see today that group of government officials who live in a country, a third world country for the matter of fact, where people live on less than $1 a day, to celebrate and live luxuriously, and then speak in the condescending manner as to how people survive. It speaks to the level of understanding when it comes to governance. Okay? People who actually have never in their life held any permanent job. Okay, the consideration to serve as an intern. Okay, I thought about it today, Sister Cindy, and I'm going to deviate here shortly. I got it. I got an invitation from the World Bank on a contract, just an IT analyst position, and I took a screenshot of it.
It's not just Lofa. It's a big deal.
Sister Cindy, this is what I said.
Lofa, no, Lofa. It's not just, it's a big deal. You're not doing it because a former president referred you. You're not doing it because you were in a position somewhere that were there based on your political support or based on the sports system or the political machine or patronage system. You earn it. So it's a big deal.
And I understand the reason why I said it's a mere analyst, an IT analyst position where anybody who shouldn't have to be technical, you can perform or play that role. But the reason I thought about it, I said maybe I should go post about this so Liberian can see me as a smart person, because I am too. If I'm to state that I worked at the World Bank, regardless of my tenure at that position or my performance, they would now consider me very smart. Even if I'm dumb, or dumber than a rock that is at the back of your house, you will still think I'm smart because I may have been considered for a contract position that is only for 3 years. Even if that contract is not renewed, but I'm not in that position. I laughed about it, and I just told the person, the contact person, I'm not interested. Okay, but these are the mentalities that our people will run with. They will sincerely run with that statement or that view. Look, I work at the World Bank. Okay, so that makes you smart. What did you do? How did you perform? Let us look at the performance indicator. For you to stand and talk to anybody in the Western world, in the global community today, that is at a very fast pace of growth in development, technologically, you can't tell me just because you sat in a position qualifies you for promotion. It's based on your performance. KPI, key performance indicator.
Yeah.
Your KPI determines your eligibility for raise. Your KPI determines your eligibility for promotion. And these are things that you will think we will integrate in our system, so that young people who have not had the opportunity but have sincerely dwelt on theory and not the practical understanding of development will have that opportunity to keep themselves abreast. But it's unfortunate that this is where we are. We are still literally, we have the society and the entire country stalled. It's just at that one place where everybody simply say, just learn how to talk, learn how to open your mouth and be very vocal. If I bet you people don't see you as very smart, then you got to have something wrong with you. That is the only thing that classifies someone for being smart. How you run your mouth, not based on the performance. I want to determine how a person perform at a specific task. Let me give you a piece of job to do. When you perform and you wow me, it tells me, yeah, you're capable of doing it. And this is why we find ourselves in a rotating circle. We refuse to hire permanent Liberian who are competent. Instead, we would rather hire loudmouth, talking toms, Google scholars, and for nothing folks who have no idea as to what they're doing. It's shameful that we will sit here today in the 21st century. We're still talking about the university. The state-run university shut down. Yeah. The state-run university in Liberia, one of the oldest African countries on the continent. The state-run university shut down. Where are we? Those of us shut down. These young people cannot do anything about it. You know what? Other countries around the world, their young people are developing themselves. We are being left behind. And when I say we are, because I may not be in the forefront of being that person who wants to contribute or pursue a job in the workforce in Liberia. But guess what? At the end of the day, Liberian is what is written on my passport. Correct. When we are identified, like it was done when this whole issue of the IQs were being determined. Guess what? Liberia fell at the very bottom of it. But it's not because we don't have smart people. Mm-hmm. We do have smart people. Can you just do your own survey, your own assessment, and see how many nurses, doctors we have around, how many engineers? I don't know if we have any scientists, but I can bet my life we may have a scientist.
We do, and I know a few of them who work here for the U.S. Department of whatever.
There you go. We have scientists in our midst. Mm-hmm. So how is it that we sit and allow ourselves to be bamboozled by people who show nothing.
Okay,
All of the people, all the time, we try to justify our decision, our failure to act adequately. And then you want to sit here and make it seem as though this is something that we're supposed to laugh about. Nobody's going to laugh about that. Okay? We should stop being the way we are. We need to be very serious. If you're opportune to be out of the country and you're fortunate to live in the Western world where people are given opportunity based on the system that works, I think you should look at how best we can develop our system so that we can leave that opportunity. Keep yourself abreast of what is happening, the true transformation, true innovation. Let people see it through you, not just simply through your talks, not just simply through your write-ups. Theoretically, as a matter of fact, thank God for AI. With my limited understanding of science, I can write an entire paragraph on science, or excuse me, on healthcare, I meant to say. I can write an entire book on healthcare because AI may provide that understanding or provide that theoretical understanding of it. But do I have the practical knowledge, the practical understanding? Can I apply what is written? Those are the things. And that's why when some of us sit in for interviews, when we conduct interviews, yes, we look at the behavioral aspect of our employees and other people, but we also look beyond just the behavior, the technical aspect of things, because I don't want to have to be sitting like I am on the show tonight and one of my interns calling me to ask me, oh, I'm having problem here. We have this other site is down. What should I do? I want to believe that you're competent enough, regardless of how long you've been at that job, you are competent enough to move things forward. And when it is needed, when that issue has been expedited, then I can be a part of it. Those are the kind of people we look for in society. Not just flamboyancy, not just all right talking because you want to talk and have nothing to show for it. We are at the very bottom of the food chain in comparison to other countries around the world. And I think we can do better. Welcome, Randy.
Welcome, Brother Randy. Let me add up and look at what we're really sad is. And I will speak to myself. So we just had our state, because the kids take state exam every year, twice a year. And you can have, if I have 130 students, right? Just for example, if I have 130 students and 40 of those students get 90, and then 40 of them get 10 and 15, and then another 40 of them get maybe 25, all of their numbers going to come down because they're doing it as a group, right? Peter, I sent you the link already. As a group. So my number is going to drop, or the school number is going to drop drastically. They're not going to, when you do an individual, effect is individual. But if you do a school cluster, then my cluster is not going to do, like when they examine Liberian or they do an IQ test for Liberian, they don't say, Rennie is an engineer, Rennie got 170 now, 130 at test at a genius level, or Lofa got a 140 at a genius level. And if one of the two of you getting that point and the rest of us don't get there, Liberia is at the bottom of the barrel. And that's why I tell people, if you got few persons who building themselves jail houses, voluntary jail houses, okay, and because they're stealing money in a country, and the rest of the people, they're hungry. 3.5 million of our people cannot afford to eat or spend $2 a day. 300+ thousand of our young people are addicted to drugs. Most of them are drinking liquor and killing themselves, frying their liver. But let me stop here, Brother Rennie. Welcome. We are talking about the remaking of Liberia, okay? And especially when we watch, like I say, they're unfit to lead. When we watch the people who go to the capital every other day or every day, that place busted, it rained, it flooded. We didn't see an electrician going there to test the integrity of the building. We didn't see people to go check to see if the electrical wiring still or the plumbing system was. The next thing, it got burned. Then we heard it were being burglarized, and they said no, they're renovating. So if they were renovating the place and security were there, all of a sudden the place burned down. And for me, Lofa, it's also a shame because the whole nation, there is no, we used to say fire brigade, okay? No fire water truck, how you call it? A firefighter in the whole
fire
country.
service, fire service.
Fire service to watch if that capital can burn before our eyes, no intervention, nobody is safe in Liberia. Then we got people voting to be the best what do you call it, the best minister for doing what? So
But,
I'm sorry,
brother Randy, I'm sorry. Before you come to, if you don't mind, let me just respond to somebody quickly who said, you know, having the highest or lower IQ does not make it's not referencing education. That was not my point. IQ, it speaks of your intelligence or understanding, your ability to adapt.
exactly.
Okay, we're not talking about academic achievement. That's not what we're talking about. When you speak of one IQ, it obviously in itself, it interprets itself for I mean, just for lack of better term. So if someone is speaking of where we rank when it comes to IQ, the determination, I don't know what benchmark may have been used to make that determination, regardless of what was used, but we fell at the lowest. That is embarrassing. We have master's degree holder, we have PhD. I never reference academic credentials because I know anybody can say anywhere and acquire some kind of education, whether it is formal or informal education, because there are several ways to educate yourself. So we cannot reference education. But what I look at when we are discussing IQ is we're looking at performance. And that's why I mentioned initially the KPI, the key performance indicator, your ability to perform at your job, to give you that opportunity for potential growth. Okay, those are the kind of things that you look at to make that determination. How can we make that determination when you look at the job growth in the country, Liberia? How are we developing ourselves? Can you say or openly tell people that yes, we are smarter than the Ghanaians when we are underperforming? Then where are the bright minds? Are we just simply just having them all cast? Those are some of the things I'm talking about. I'm not talking about this issue of education. I can sit here today and said enroll in several classes and obtain a master's, PhD, and at the end of the day, all of those things I put on my wall. I mean, I'm just utilizing the symbolic nature of academics. Am I able to apply what is acquired? Those are the kind of things we speak to when we speak of IQ. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, my daughter say hi to you guys.
Hi, they love my cookie here, but my cookie is still white.
I know I saw you the other day. I'll tell you my wife about it. I don't know whether Lufa has one or not, but anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Oh yeah, I do. I have a American bullet. I have American bullet.
Government though, or boxer.
Yeah,
I have a bullet. Come here.
I can't do bulldog. I get children.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah. I have American bullet.
Those are very strong dogs. No.
They are. Anyway, yeah. Let me say, post happy Merry Christmas to every one of you guys because it's in the past. And yeah, let me start with you. I hope the Oma is doing well.
My mom is great. She was here last night looking younger than me. Seriously.
Let me say congratulations to Lofa Julius. I heard about his I'm not promotion, but his preferment to be at one of the prestigious institutions in the United States.
And I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm just saying, but so, thanks.
Yes, Lofa, as a corporate manager here, we kind of appreciate you for that because it doesn't come easily. And the merit system we have in this country here. Yasini and Lofa and to everyone, what I would say here is I believe, and this is my foundation of defense. I believe that those are all who managed to graduate high school prior to the war have been the only existing generation that today is still standing as the last generation. I am unable to see the incoming generation in post-war Liberia defeating the legacy that we have left in the country. That's how I see it.
That's
yeah.
That's scary to see that.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't be fair you bring Martin on to please bring him on.
Yeah.
Let the young man come in.
Yeah.
He really wants to come on.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the Peter come on. Peter, where are you? Then we talk about that.
And yes, and that was something I wanted to
I don't want to give you platform because
it's okay, Sister Cindy. I understand where you're coming from. I understand. I'm appealing to you.
No, that way before. Don't plead. Here it is. Okay. That's how people do it in Liberia. They cost.
And then they come back and I like yes.
And then they sit at the table.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. But some of his statement he's making, I want him to come and defend it, saying he doesn't think that IQ have to do with performance and other.
IQ has to do with reasoning, logic.
Yeah. So guys, I think in all fairness to Mr. Colley, he has apologized because I was looking at the conversation line going through. He has apologized. So I think to do him some level of fairness, I would appreciate if you could bring him in just to be part of the show. But coming back to the issue in our country, our country in post-war Liberia, we have gone 19 years since we started our political independence of democratic process. Because prior to that, it had been a mismatched and misinterpreted democracy that we have had over the years. But I think the post-war Liberia, when we elected Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it became the new day, a new page of our democracy. So what I have seen so far in our process of the present, we have gotten political independence through electoral process. What we think we are now had is what I would describe as the LEI, the Liberia Equity and Inclusion. We are not had that yet because we see a proportion of our population being disenchanted. The well-connected will always have the edge. And today it has socially, through and social engineering, because social engineering look at identity with political party, identity with travel line, identity with friends. So when I, as an engineer, when I see the social application of what is happening to our country, we have had so many divisions in our country. Between 1847 to 1980, it was about the class system. Between 1980 to 1989, it was about the tribal divide. And then in the year of Civil War, we had the Warren Fashion Division, where you had Unimo K, Unimo J. All the things they now work. So we are now into the politics. Now that we have gotten independence within our politics, we are now looking at political identity. People will disagree with Lofa, people will disagree with Peter, people will disagree with Yasini because of political identity. Bottom line, people don't vote on issue. That is why today, when people who get burned, when you see people living in the graveyard, people have not clearly defined what they want for their community. What are the list of things that they want for the community? Lofa Junior talk about KPI. Those are the integrated KPI that you must have to determine who is in power, how long and how much are they meeting those requirements, those issues in your community. If you see those issues being solved, then you get a better KPI. But again, the problem in Liberia is nothing else but illiteracy. We are now lessening our illiteracy. We defined that we needed a Ministry of Education. When the Ministry of Education started, what was the percentage of uneducated people? Today is 2020. How can we compare what the data were when we started the Ministry of Education where we are today? Nobody can give me that data, so those are things that are going on. When I look at the current activities happening in the country today, backdating as far as during the Ellen Johnson administration, there hasn't been a plan, a national development plan that will be pillowed into the ground as to what are the institutions that we need to strengthen. Whoever comes to power, here are the things that you need to focus on, whether it is education, whether it is the environment, whether it is health. These are pillars of things. But you see, we have people who are byproduct of the war in post-war Liberia, such as our lawmakers. These guys come to power with no experience, whether it is out there working in the field or leading community affairs. None of these guys have these things in here. What I see today in Liberia is what I describe as what? Intellectual education. Intellectual education are those who just sit in the classroom, get all the A, all the Bs, they come out here. Now, after that, what comes in is the experiential quality that you get from the field of work. That's why you see in the United States here, if you have 30 years of experience and somebody comes from Yale, Harvard, you will come in that institution to be a on-the-job training to that individual, because why? Corporate look at performance and year of experience. We have to change that dynamics. Another thing we don't have to is our leaders are now looking at what we need to improve. As an engineer, we look at process improvement. If you look at how things are done in Liberia, all right? Take, for example, since we started issuing driver license, you see the process, how flawless the process is. People will come to you and say, I'm a driver. But when you come to a four-way intersection, we see them on the road and say, but wait now, what process did you pass through? And these are things that I challenge our leaders in our country. You can have a system that is not aligned with the process. That becomes an issue. So when you look at the national legislature today, having majority as an engineer, if I talk about number, is in no way an equivalent to having the exact number. So majority doesn't mean that you won. If that was the case, then Joe we would have won in the first round by majority rule. You understand, yeah? So why
exactly.
So now, before I learn, because I know the other brother is waiting there. When I look at the fire incident that took place at the Capitol building, I mean, I'm looking at guys who make laws. We in the United States, I as a regulator who develop policy for people to follow. These guys who in the United States that read the different policies and law, we take those law and interpret them into regulation, and we expect the corporation to develop their policy to align with the regulation so that it can affix to the law. These guys sit in that building, not even a CC camera around that building, not even a fire suppression system that's supposed to look at the sprinkler, not a thing in there.
Thank you.
And you know, so these are things they don't have. So when I come to Mr. Borka talk about arrest, all right? The arrest is just a model. And somebody said, what kind of car you got? Well, I have a Lexus. What kind of model? RX, LX, what kind of model? You say he has an arrest. But what are you going to use to drive the arrest? The arrest must have a framework that kind of identify the target area that Lufa is talking about. Once that is in place, every ministry, agency, director will be able to look at what is applicable to their institution and begin to develop their vision, their mission, and their strategic area. So when Boston Gaffron come out and say, oh, I'm a minister who the people commend, he's doing it because of the illiteracy of our people. The problem of Liberia is not about the system, it's about illiteracy. Until we clean all the illiterate minds, people will just come out here to we have followers who don't understand what they're doing. The question is, if a Boston Gaffron say, I'm the best minister, the question I'm going to ask you is, what framework have you taken out of the Joseph Borka agenda, the national development agenda, that is applicable to what you're doing? Because the last time I checked, Mr. Borka and Ellie said by the year 2030, to the poverty reduction strategy that align with the UN goal and other partner goal, they were going to make Liberia to be a middle income country by 2030. This is 2024, few more weeks into 2025. We have less than 5 more years to get to 2030. And what you see happening in the country over there, do you think we are going to create a middle class by that time? No. Walker has 6 agenda on his list. That is the arrest. He has 6 pills. I believe every pill is supposed to be for 1 year. He has lost 1 year already doing nothing. So what's going to happen? He's going to keep bumping, and by the time you reach the 2028, Mr. Borka will be short in his agenda because he has not developed a national agenda development. In all fairness to the CDC, by 2018 of October, Mr. Weah came up with a PAPDP. When Mr. Afan came in, he said that he will look at time to develop the arrest agenda that will replace the PROPO agenda. Even if he had done that, and he come out and say, I tried, I would say, yes, among all the ministers, you are done best. So, the problem in our country is more than any problem, both in any math that you are solved. I rest my case for now. Thank you.
I'm reading the comments here. So, P, you can come in though, but and then since it's Cindy, can you do me a favor when Pete lands, if you will, please? Can you just simplify when people talk of KPI? What benchmark is utilized to make that determination? When you talk about somebody said it has nothing to do with performance. In order for you to determine one IQ, not a KPI, excuse me, one IQ, aren't they being evaluated based on the performance on certain things? Okay, you're talking about performance. You coming in double sessions, and there you go.
No, I sent a link to Martin Colley. I'm getting a lot of calls.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So when people talk about performance, whether it is work-related performance, your performance in certain areas, I shouldn't have to say, because I'm no longer in school, so it would not be based on that determined. But my IQ can just be based on, I can sit here and just be overly smart. My ability to just adapt in itself, when that determination is made, one can say, okay, this person has a really high IQ. Here again, you see, that's why I often say people want to speak to certain things, and somebody said, we are studying it in college right now. Yeah, I don't blame you for not understanding, but
okay. Lofa, can I come in and send the link to Martin Colley?
You're first.
I've worked with gifted kids. I work with special ed kids. I work with general ed kids. We call that differentiated learning. And all of our children get an IQ tested. There are categories that come together that create that IQ, okay? To know to speed, the different, how you call it, the level of intelligence to some degree, okay? So I'm not going back and forth. You're learning in college, you will learn.
It contributes to your performance. It contributes. Anyway, Peter, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Let me not focus on this. Go ahead, Pete.
So first, I'll just come on because I don't know what's going on with y'all's thing. First of all, thanks for this conversation. I was just listening, and I always wanted, moving forward, I just want to be part of our national conversation. I think that's very, very important. This is what democracy is. The ability for us to all put our ideas on the table, and it's a marketplace of ideas, and then we debate it: who's right, who's wrong, why we think that person's right, why we think that person's wrong. I think playing semantics is part of the problem, right? It's easy to retreat into identity politics quickly, right? I'm CDCN, I'm UPN, I'm ANC, or whatever. Why does that matter? We need to have a nationalistic debate. And a nationalistic debate is above everything we're talking about. Thank you for saying you're going to have Martin on. I'm really, really happy that you're doing that.
I said in the link too.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that we need to do, that intelligent people do, is not offer so much information to act like you know it all. Because the more you know, the more you learn that you don't know anything. I think what we should do is ask questions, ask real questions. And I don't know if we're ready to have this hard conversation that needs to be had. And that's what we need to have. I don't agree with Randy on a lot of things.
I don't either. A lot. Right.
Especially his support for CDC, and especially with Randy's background. And Randy knows that. And this is not personal to Randy, but it is in that Randy decided to make a decision that I thought was not good for Liberia. So is Martin. I don't think Martin is a bad person. I think he's actually a very good person. I think so is Randy. I respect Randy. I like how he fight. I think we need fighters. If we're going to have a revolution, and we need to have an electoral revolution. Without that, we're going no place. There is an oligarchy that runs Liberia. That has gone nowhere. From the True Whig Party, it's gone nowhere. And we still have the privilege making decisions for everyone's family, and those people we're coming to see are not the brightest, and they're not the best visionaries. And that starts with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I agree with Lofa. When I was waiting to come on, Lofa said something about people with degrees. I'm an educator, and I shouldn't sound like that, but degrees really don't matter. Can you synthesize information? Can you apply that information you have to society and solve problems if you're going to be in government? We have seen that these so-called people with degrees who can write, who have this and that, they cannot do the job. They cannot do the job that they set out to do. We talked about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who went to the Kennedy School at Harvard. It means nothing. She was ill prepared to do the job of Liberia. No one's saying she's not informed or she didn't have education. What we're saying is the amount of information she had was not sufficient to move the country forward, because we could just look at where the country is and the legacy left behind by her. Okay, I'm saying George Weah does not have the amount of information needed to lift our country out of poverty and to uplift the standard of living. Let's debate that. Let's debate each point in that. So my only contention to a Randy or to a Martin will be that let's look at the numbers. What is this man's economic worldview? What informs it? Okay, what makes you believe that it's going to work in Liberia? Where has it worked before? What nation that came out of abject poverty was lifted using that model? This is what we need to be talking about. What's his educational worldview? Okay, where are we getting the money from to implement any of these plans? I see Martin wants to come on and talk about budget and how much the diaspora spent to Liberia. I think that's inconsequential. It doesn't matter. I want to hear what is Boyka's roadmap? What is step one? What are the dates that where are they planting the flag? How are we measuring that? Where are the measurables for them? That's what I want to hear. And this is what we need to talk about. When we are selecting a leader, when I talk about an education, electoral revolution, I'm talking about when we are selecting a leader. Randy said this when he came on, and he's always knew this. It's got to be based on merit. It's got to be based on merit. And we didn't do that. We haven't done that. We have done it on tribalism. We've done it on being part of the privileged class, which Joseph Boycott, that's all he can do. He speaks really good English, but that's where it ends. Let's put everything on the table. And when is this man going to open himself up to be asked real questions? He talked about acronym arrest. And when he was pushed on that in Nigeria, he couldn't even give any details because he lacks the vision. He lacks the vision. When you're trying to run for a bankrupt country. This thing about that, right? This is what venture capitalists do. They come into a company that is broken down, that was once good, and see, okay, what can we take here? What can we get rid of? And how can we make this thing viable again? Liberia is a bankrupt country. You don't take somebody who's not the best. That's what government's supposed to do. We're supposed to take the best of the best, and they then sell the service to the general public. That's what we're supposed to be doing in government. People tell me, oh, good, government job and this. Look at the people who've been hired. Tell me about Gafwan. How are these people the best that we have? Here's what I want to land on this, Yasendi. I said all that to say something. I am very vicious when I fight because my children's lives matter to me. Just like everybody else's child's life or children or loved ones' lives matter to them. I am going to fight nasty, but anyone who knows me in private, they know that I am one of the kindest people you ever meet, one of the most introspective person you ever meet, because that's where I'm comfortable at. It doesn't mean I like fighting, but when it comes to my children's life and the people I care about lives, I'm willing to stand on the wall for that. I'm saying this to say this. We need to have hard conversations. We must have hard conversations if Liberia is going to move forward. There are 4 pillars. I'm not going to stop repeating it. 4 pillars needed to run a democracy, a healthy democracy. 4 of them. You need a healthy economy. You need a rule of law. You need an educated populace. You need citizen participation. Liberia has one leg of the table of the 4. We have one. Citizens over citizen participation. When are we going to have the real conversation about who we picking, why we picking them, and what do we expect after picking these people? That's what I want to have about, and that's what I want Martin to come on for.
Thank you. So Peter, let me jump in with this with Martin comment, and this is why I was really begging for the young man to come on. If you would, Sister Cindy, please highlight Martin recent comment he said, and I'll read it if you can highlight it. He said, I am not blaming you. Well, he said, nothing's getting in, says Cindy. I am not blaming you, but not getting in. Public sector performance is not evaluated through technical processes. Amen. You see why I say why we find ourselves here? This is, let the people read it for themselves. He claiming public sector performance is not evaluated through technical processes, including casual analysis. How in the world is it that this, Martin?
Lofa, I don't mean to cut you. Let me come in here, right? Because I don't mean to cut you. I think this is I think you're sitting. Yeah, you mute. Yeah, you are mute.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin, I have sent you the link. I sent it. I called you. Lofa sent it, and I just put it in the comment line. So I'm gonna go ahead, Brother Randy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Lofa, let me come in here, right? Like I said, intellectual education is primarily based on classroom knowledge. And you can tell if you are a professional person in the world that somebody is writing your textbook knowledge versus a practical knowledge.
A practical, thank you.
Yeah, so because the KPI is something that I do all the time here, to be honest with you guys. And by the way, Yasin, I was in Beaufort and Swanee. I didn't come to you because I was scared. I thought the ANC people were going to jump on me. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. So but Lofa, what I'm trying to say here is,
I will let you land on that.
Yeah, IQ is individual based, kind of trying to determine your cognitive reasoning and then your skills, problem solving, but it kind of integrates itself into the corporate world. Why they should at KPI look at team performance, organizational performance, but within that organization, you must build a team of IQ people who are problem solving. So some of the tools that we have is like the ABS problem solving tool, the A3 problem solving tool, tools that we have. So they kind of integrate, but you have to build it on. So when I see what you just posted over about the brother, it kind of like it is a text message base that is coming out, because KPI can be set from what is the company goal, like to what coach is saying, what is the company goal, what plan do we have this year or next year? Are we looking at engagement? Where are we with engagement? How are we going to engage the people? The strategy, those things will be measured based on your department that is going to set the goal. Every individual will have their goal. Whether that goal will be evaluated based on every quarter, it will be evaluated, but you have to set that goal. Because at the end of the day, when you go for the ELT, that is the executive leadership meeting, you have to sit over there to represent. And we have something called the border. The border is like what we call the dashboard. You actually have to see the performance of every institution. So when I see that message, I think we got more room for opportunity here, Lofa, like looking at the SWOT, the SWOT. We have to see opportunity here. What the brother wrote over there is a fine, logic, logical explanation, but we need to refine that, to be able to get, why I think needs to be done.
And that's part of the reason why every time when I'm opportune to sit in and discuss Liberia, I focus on the practical aspect of things.
Correct.
Okay? Because like I often term education, and anybody in the right mind will understand that you do have formal and informal education. If you are to reference our cultural origin, okay, some of our grandparents were very smart. They were referenced as either a doctor or the delivery nurses. I don't know what are they called. I think they have a name for them, but they were able to do those things because they learned it through informal education. But if you're not able to apply that education, then it leaves me with the question as to, are you sincerely educated? Because anybody can sit and write, and considering today's world that is so technologically savvy, we are overwhelmed with technology, where you can sit anywhere and utilize AI to just write anything.
That's true.
And you come across very bright, and you deceive yourself. This brings us back to where we are now questioning people's ability to apply that knowledge. Implementation is where the determination is made. And I don't care your GPA. Okay?
No.
I don't care about your GPA from high school or college.
Yes.
You know what I care about once you graduate from college?
Yeah.
I am more focused on your performance.
And Lufa, let me just come in there too, because you're speaking to somebody who is more practical. I have worked in more industry, but the current industry I work in today, our operation is both pharmaceutical and other aspects. Just last summer, we had PhD students who came to our facility. Some of them came from Yale, Harvard, and other institutions. They were 10 working for us. Why they should have respect their education? When they came and sat down with us, they're like, we don't understand the practical aspect of what we're doing here. And we look forward to you guys to collaborate with us. And what we did, every department here was able to generate a program that is applicable, because these kids are coming with institutional knowledge based on intellectual classroom experience. You're not going to make them or allow them to make informed decisions that could ruin the institution reputation. So they have to be guided on a own. Like what Coach said, show me the plan that will guide your organization or your government through. And I think that one thing we're lacking. So in the country, people just look at a big chunk of topic. They talk about it. For example, the lawmaker often talk about budget. But what does the budget really mean for the Liberian people?
What does the budget entail?
What does it mean? And, you know, with that budget here. Now, if you represent a community, what that budget is applicable within our community. That is why today, when you look at each and every one of them, they don't have a web page to show you what they are doing. And, you know, so in short, we need to define why we have a government, and then we also need to understand how our government should be run. So there's a how and there's a why. You see, the reason why the United States failed in Vietnam, they failed in Afghanistan, they knew that there was a war. All right. Why are we going to Afghanistan to fight a war? But how we should fight the war, it was not explained. And this is where more failure comes in. Lawmakers then want to be, people want to become lawmakers. Lawmakers then want to talk about budget. Why? Because it's our responsibility. But how is the budget going to affect the people? All right. My sister yesterday talked about fire, gashing around the different places. Now, you have a whole institution. That one fire brigade station, I believe, is around atmosphere or whatever it is. That fire station was only built for Monrovia back then. It was only built for Monrovia. So when you have fire in Ghannaville, the expansion of our population, because the population will increase exponentially. It's not going to decline. We had a decline for during the war. It's going to kick off.
Randy?
Yes.
Brother Randy?
Yeah.
Let me just come in. That's why planning and development comes in.
That's correct.
This is most of you know I have technical background. I usually ask where is the schematics, because for telecommunication, our plan for architects is for rendering. We use schematics. Where is the schematics? Because the schematics is the roadmap to what product you want to yield.
Correct.
Where, as the nation grows, you who in planning and development, what are you projecting? The last 10 years, when we did censor, if at all we did, what was the projection? How do we leapfrog?
Correct.
So now, if you project for now, 10 years from now, because they just did another, what they call it, another censor.
Yeah.
What population are you projecting? Where are they going to be residing? All right. How do we get Monrovia overpopulated? How do we get people to go out and make other countries attractive for them to go there? Correct. How are you planning that? These things, and you're talking about, you do that based on the performance, the planning, the numbers, you have data and statistics.
The leadership, you see, Yasini.
Yes, go ahead. I just wanted to bring that in, but go ahead.
Yeah. Every ministry in Liberia was legislated for a meaning and for a purpose, but they don't understand the function. The Ministry of Health. What is the purpose of the Ministry of Health? And I'll go back to Coach, because the question that Coach asked recently, Elon Musk asked that question to the World Food Program. Show me your plan that will eliminate poverty. I will sell my Tesla share and give it to you guys. That is the fundamental, because the reason he's saying that he is a very successful guy that comes through the rank of building himself a reputation through planning and implementation. Says Yasini, he created that blueprint. He had that schematic. He's looking at things left and right, top to bottom. He's looking at things. That's why he's asking those questions. So coming back to our ministry, one of the reasons why our ministry, and look like you're right, and here is how you right, and I will give it to you. Most of the ministry have never been evaluated based on key performance indicators. So when you come to say those things, it becomes more of a foreign information.
Language. It becomes
exactly. So it becomes foreign. So to Coach's point, if you have a plan guess what the plan will be evaluated from? How you going to develop that program? How much budget you need? What is the implementation phase? What is the monitoring phase? And how do you determine the performance? If every minister will come up with a performance, agency will come up with a performance, that's how you will get to know that the community, the budget is going up. Then that way you can even come up with internal or external audit to determine where the program is working.
Really, there's no justification for this, right? This is not the first time, second time, I think. No, from right out of college, I was opportunity to work for IBM. I know how it worked. That IBM is the private sector, okay? The Fortune 500 company. I work for CDW Burby, okay? I know how they did evaluation. Then I work with Madison, in Madison, Wisconsin. I work with the government sector. Again, in North Carolina, I work with the state treasurer. In Liberia, they are referenced as the finance ministry. Correct. In the United States, there's the state treasurer. I now work with, again, this is not the theory is what a lot of these young people run with. Correct. And because they're listening to people telling them, oh no, this is not what it is, or you read a little book or something and you think that, okay, this is what it is. As the day goes by, people are being innovative. And that is why often when you sit in and engage other people in these kind of conversations that we are having here, correct, you sure have to prep yourself up and say, okay, 3 days from now, I will be engaging you on an interview, on a debate. I didn't. I mean,
I don't mean to dominate the show. If you give me 1 minute here,
so you finish that period come in. I want to hear your perspective.
Let me lay on my tongue. Let me just make one comment. Lofa, I want us to, we can either freeze up or bleach away the issue of debate. Our country is not about debate. Our country future to be focused on problem solving.
Thank you.
Back to what Coach is saying. So, Coach, I'll give you a benefit of the doubt. Because
that's what I'm saying. But Randy, that's all I'm saying here tonight. All I'm saying here is this, right? If you have the practical understanding, correct, and the ability to implement, you end up as one of the brightest and the best among us. And we acknowledge and appreciate you for your ability to extend to that level. If you can excel through implementation, not simply just having to state it, just utilizing your ability to vocally say it or expressing it through written communication. Those are not the kind of things we want you to apply it. These are the kind of people we are seeking in Liberia at this point in time. We want the Randy Double who understands the environment, because I work with Randy. I currently work with scientists.
Oh, what happened to Lofa? Jeez, I thought he ran the show. Peter, you want to take over?
Yeah, I can quickly come in. So a couple of things. I read something that I don't know what's going on with Martin's phone, but we call this in basketball, it's called pump faking. When you're not shooting, you just pump faking. I don't think Martin Reading wanted to come on. That's disappointing. But here's what I want to talk about. Martin talked about casual analysis. When we're talking about pragmatism, right? That's what we're talking about. You mentioned Elon Musk. He's been pragmatic.
Very good.
When Yasendi said, show me the schematics, it hit home. That's what I do for a living. It's all about schematics. Show me your scheme. How do we go from A to B? Why is that going to work? How is it going to work? Right? And we're not doing that. Same point that you kept hitting home, Randy. Show me the plan. What's step one? What's step two? How do we verify that step one was accomplished? How do we go to step two? This is what we need to do. We need creative thinkers. We just don't need anyone who has done the job. For the dire situation that we're in as a country, we need geniuses. We need creative thinkers, people who have done it, people who can do this in their sleep. Therefore, my only thing, I don't want to be in politics. I don't care about politics. What I do care about is I care about my children's future. I care about pride in my country. I care about being the best. That's what I care about. So I want to be able to ask questions and have you suit whatever angst I have in my head, suit that. Tell me, no, this is why you're wrong. This is how it's going to work. That's all. I'm a regular citizen. I don't care to be in politics. I don't want to work in government. Liberia government, they're not going to be able to. The money I want, they won't pay me now. I can't be in Liberia doing it. Period. So I can't work in Liberia anyway. I'm too close to retirement. I'm too close to everything. So I say that to say my goal is not to be in government. Why would I want to work in government? That sector is put aside for certain people. But if this is a democracy, you have to allow us to ask questions, to tell our whys, hows. The collective resources of our country don't belong to Joseph Boycott. I think there's a problem when you buy a $500,000 car.
Yeah.
I think when we have no schools, when we have women dying on their way, they couldn't get to a hospital during childbirth. That's a problem during complication. And you're flying around in a private jet. And my biggest issue, and this is why I really wants to debate, wants to debate, that's fine. I'm open to the debate. And it doesn't mean you have to be confrontational. You could confront people without being confrontational. Let's put a point on the table and talk about it. When you con your way to leadership, you need to be held accountable for that. And I believe that's what happened. Mr. Boycott, since 1973, has no legacy. There is nothing he can point out and say, here. Look what I did here. Everything we did was smoke and mirrors. Okay. And his people don't want to answer any real questions. This is what I want Martin to come on for. I want to hear this plan. I don't want to hear I criticize. Criticizing is doing nothing for us right now. We're paying too many people. Our government is way too big because we don't know how to create private sector jobs. What's your plan to create private sector jobs? What's your plan to stop capital flight? The money we send back, we remit back to Liberia. It's been remitted back to China and to Lebanon.
Yeah.
What's your plan to stop that? What's your plan to get Liberians? One second, I'm almost done. What's your plan to get Liberian businesses to compete with foreign businesses, especially the big sectors in Liberia, the restaurants, the grocery stores, okay, the hardware stores? What's your plan? What's your plan to get our kids off the streets during school hours from selling and putting stuff on their heads to get in school, since they're the future of our country? When are we going to hear those plans? Tell us step by step. When is that going to happen? How is it going to happen? Okay, I'm thoroughly disappointed. Not you, Naya. I was hoping that was Martin's face that was showing up. So please forgive me.
He didn't. We sent you the link. He have not said
the disappointment in my face. So I just want us to talk about. I want us to have this real conversation. So when I say to my brother, Randy, who has all this practical knowledge, and I don't want to assume for him, and I see that he's supporting someone, there is zero probability or chance that he's going to be able to uplift us in any way, the standard of living in Liberia. When we assume that, he might listen to other people, that's not how visionaries work. Visionaries have the vision. All they do is they wait for people to help them to implement that vision. I just want to hear the vision. If you're going to lead and make decisions for our children, my children's life, my life, or my future, where I plan on retiring, I need to know, because you do not own our country. How we're going to get there? That's all we need to be talking about right now. And then with that being said, we need to pick the best possible person. Right now, this party politics is not working. That's what George Washington said. George Washington was vehemently against party system because he knew that he said it was going to end up into having cliques and having people just retreat back to their own corners. And it's true, especially in the country of Liberia. We need to move away from that, and we need to be of Liberia. We need to be the electoral college of Liberia because we know better. We don't need a formal electoral college. It's us. But we need to be willing to have the hard conversations. And anyone who ducks that conversation, I call those people conversational terrorists. Those people are not good for any institution. Allow the conversations to happen. That's why I was happy that Martin was willing to come on. Let's have the hard conversation. Let's put everything out in the best disinfectant is exposure. Let's put all our thoughts on the table. Let's see who knows what, who don't know what, without Googling it. Let's talk about that.
And that's exactly where I was going to get into, right? This issue of schedule a time to debate. No, we don't do that. And we should not be doing that. We should not even, this is no longer high school or college. We're not in college no more. We can discuss the issue. What we're doing right here, it was not a schedule, but here's a stage debate. We are discussing an issue.
Yeah.
Okay? We're having a conversation. We are discussing the issue, and we could disagree. And that is simply what a debate is. It's not a scheduled event where you come and answer specific questions, because as a professional person, like I often say to my interns, why it is true that you have the calculator to calculate the subnet max or your subnets, you should have it up here where you can just get it under your belt and get it done on the road. When we talk about Liberia's growth and development, this issue about debating the issue it should be way behind us. This is why I want to disagree with Pete. When Pete said, I want to know your plan. We've heard too many people who said they had a plan and they modified to some extent, told us what their plans were. But what I really want to see is the how. And you mentioned that at the very end of your statement. How would you implement that plan? If you tell me my plan here is agriculture, how do you intend to improve agriculture in Liberia? How will you sustain agriculture? Don't just tell me you believe in agriculture, because agriculture comes with the need for funding, like it is done in the United States, in other parts of the world, Canada. So if you tell me you believe in agriculture, I want you to tell me how you're going to maintain the agriculture sector. What incentive? How are you going to incentivize the agriculture sector so that people like Lofa Julius, Yacindy, or Randy can see reason to leave their jobs and say, you know what? The agriculture sector looks greasy. Let me go there and start farming too, because there are varieties of farming. Okay, you don't have to just grow cassava. You can do other things and you still consider a part of agriculture. And there are so many ways. If we are looking to invest in young people, the development of younger career, how are we doing that? Are we inviting these young people to serve as interns and giving them
no lofa. We're giving them $5 to call and insult people.
See,
that's what we're doing.
So if you're not creating that enabling environment for these young people to become self-sufficient and independent, they end up being vulnerable, where they have to serve as that phone guy who will call every radio station in defense of a guy who is exploiting the system, because he or she knows not what they're doing. And that's the reason why I believe they're not investing in education. And when I say education, I'm not just
intentional.
I'm not just talking about the broader aspect of it.
Come on, get Peter, come on, then we'll put in.
Okay. Quality let me close on this note. When I speak of education, I'm talking about quality education.
That's
quality
correct.
education, not just mere education, because we want to have thousands of Liberian graduate from high school, but cannot compose or cannot comprehend as expected. I close on that note. To my brother Jan, welcome to the show, boss man.
Yeah,
thank
welcome.
you.
What you thought?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening to all of the
Yeah.
panelists tonight. Randy, good evening. My brother P, good to see you again. Yeah. There's great discussion tonight. I hope this discussion can reach most of the platforms out there. This is how we should be discussing the issues, not to sit down and be cussing people out and be, look, we now, this age, this particular time, is about implementation. We are tired of hearing plans. Yeah, we are tired of hearing that. When you coming to us, especially somebody who is trying to take the highest seat in our nation, who is trying to preside over our nation economy, the resources that is meant for the upbringing and the upliftment of our people. You know, that person, we should be very intentional about that person. We should be very, very much intentional. And that's why there's 2023 election. It was very personal to some, people like me. I personally, I took it very personal because growing up, it was something that we keep hearing. Oh, this person have this plan, this person have this plan. Look, when we trying to elect people in higher office in our nation, we should check their track record. Brother P, Rennie, I know we all work here in the diaspora. First of all, they will have a PhD student on the same or interview list that you are on, and your experience and the PhD, they will look at the people are here looking at experiences. They're looking at your track record. They're doing your background check. When they say they're doing your background check, they're not going to go see if you actually get PhD. They're going to your past work history. What was your performance during those days? During your past work, your past employers, with your past employer, your work performance. That's what they're looking at. You see it? And when we told people that president, especially those that were in the race, some people today, the president that is elected in our country today, President Bouaka, when we told people that his track record was not conducive enough for this generation, this present day Liberia, the past record of President Bouaka was not conducive for this time. People turns out to be, in fact, they label us as people that just noise maker. We are here. We don't know what people going through in Liberia. Look, we going through it more in Liberia than people that live on ground. Do you know how many phone calls we receive this season time? Do you know how many phone calls that we are receiving? Do you and some of the story when you hear it, whether you don't have money in your account, you will go credit to just send it for people because some of us have sorry, we have that heart, we don't want to see people suffer. We go through it, we all go through it. So intellectual on the platform tonight, like my big brother Rennie sitting there, big brother Rennie, you articulated it tonight very well. You articulated it very well tonight, and this articulation it should be televised on the right things, the right people. We should not do it because we know this person or we want or we have some connection with this person. This time we should be very intentional about what we want for our country, Liberia. Look at what we're going through here. Do you think we feel happy of all the experiences that we have? Do you think we feel happy of being here? We want to go back home. We don't want to go back home to work in government. We want a conducive environment where we can go with we expand the knowledge that we have received. Want a conducive environment. Some of us have a good business plan. Look, the other day I had a connection, and I still have that connection, and I'm still working on that plan. I want to connect a university that I'm going to here. I'm doing my doctorate degree. That university have a connection with other universities around the globe that they send students over, to do their interns, their international intern. I want to connect Liberian with that university, and the department chair really working with me on that. I call a young man from the University of Liberia. The first thing that young man told me, my brother, that signed a contract. What in there for me? I said, first of all, nothing in there for even me that trying to get the connection happen. Nothing there for me. I'm trying to expose our nation to various, a group of people out there. So nothing there for you. And that's how you close me. And everybody that have gone through that it's the same old story. So the people have subjected our people for just today. They're not looking for tomorrow. They're not looking at the future. They are subjected us to just look at today, the dependency syndrome that our parents pass on to us. And that dependency syndrome is even worse in our generation today. So when we're talking and we are discussing issues like that, I'm very happy tonight with this kind of discussion going on here tonight. Thank you, sis, yeah, for such a show tonight.
Thank you, yeah. Let Peter come on. And guys, you're out there. People have been calling to call in. So the line is open. You can call me on this number, or you can call me on the 770 number. Both phones are open for you to call. It's also on WhatsApp. Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll be brief. I know Randy wanted to jump in too, but
Okay.
you Nye just said something that I really thought was telling. Nye talked about how, and that's happened to me. So one of the things I do is recruitment. Whenever I hear Liberian government officials say,
Peter, please explain what recruitment means from your university system here to the Liberian people, because we don't recruit in Liberia. Okay,
I will.
People, the children go, they take the test, and they have to browse before they can enter. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you work at what I do, because it's athletics, is you get to go and find best student athletes that's going to help the university be successful, right? And you go and check out different people in different places and have them come in. Two things with that. Number one, and this is very recent, when I was at Brown University, I was very, very excited for that because that's an Ivy League school, and I would get to connect some of the best and brightest from Liberia. Here's one of the things I quickly found out. Liberia did not meet the economic standard, the educational standard that they were looking for. That was extremely heartbreaking. Okay, I can go and recruit a Ghanaian student. They didn't have a problem with that. Okay, there was this thing called a band system in the Ivy Leagues. Okay, band system is just like how viable are you, right? So it's first band, second band, third band. Liberia could not even make the band system. We couldn't. So based on the band or this person's academic credentials, they will rate them and say, okay, we will accept 10. We'll accept 3 first band kids. That's very, very low level person in the school. Liberia couldn't even make 1. So that was the first thing I learned during the process. That was heartbreaking. And then I can go and recruit other people. I can go and recruit kids from the Bahamas to bring them in. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that you hear these government officials talk about scholarships. Guys, you don't have to. The government don't pay for scholarship. The kids pay for their own scholarships. It's based on merit. All the government does is prepare the children, and the children take a test, and when they pass, the university pay for the scholarship. Okay. So all the Liberian government had to do what we have to do.
Yes. Peter, you're talking to us in the diaspora, people who have traveled. Okay, when scholarship in Liberia, where either you're connected to a government or government official, or you're a girl who somebody want to sleep with and send you to school. Please explain to them what scholarship means, how it's acquired, because we want to take a step, because this is like showing a fire to a blind man, and for that maybe you have to let them touch it a little bit. So just let them touch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So scholarships,
you can't have short conversation with your Cindy. You got to go all the way.
That's okay. Just quickly, scholarships is just based on your scholar, based on whatever merit that you have earned before. The university thinks that you should be one of them, or they should be part of educating you. And mostly these universities want to educate, especially when it comes to government, want to educate the next level leader, especially when it comes to Ivy League schools. So all they do is they look at your academic credentials. Right, based on your TOEFL for the foreign student, there are a bunch of foreign tests that they take. The TOEFL is one of the biggest ones. A country like Liberia, you can do SATs or any of those tests, okay, or ACTs. All I'm saying is the student earned a scholarship. The government does not have to pay for a student scholarship. So if Liberia really was into, and this leader really had the vision of helping our kids with scholarship, instead of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, like he was like, oh, pay this money. I think there was some scholarship scheme not too long ago.
Yes.
You pay for people to prepare our students. Yes. You pay for people to prepare our students, and then you expose those students to universities. You don't have to pay for scholarships. Okay, so it's based on merit, and then money that you're spending on scholarships, you can then take that money and spend it on the other kids, the lower tier kids, or prepare a better school. But students don't have to pay. The government don't have to pay for scholarship if a kid if he's merited. Okay, and that's the thing with Liberia. We don't have enough people who really have a vision of what they're trying to do. Again, I am not a politician. I'm not trying to be a politician. What I am saying is I'm talking about pragmatism. Okay, what the plan is, what are you doing? The things you're doing based on people's different expertise, it doesn't make sense. And what you're doing is you're literally lying to us and trying to con us, and you want us to act like we don't see it. That's not okay. That's not okay. And that's what's happening in Liberia time and time again. Last thing I'm quickly say, we talked about how there was you say you try to help out and connect the university, and someone said, "What's in it for me?" I still remember this like it was yesterday. I was working at University of Rhode Island. The University of Rhode Island had just had 2 soccer players come from Cape Verde Island. So I'm at University of Rhode Island. I was like, I'm going to get a Liberian person. Yeah, I'm going to get a Liberian kid in here. I'm going to try my best to expose them and be like, hey, here's this kid in Liberia. It's right next to Cape Verde. I don't remember the person's name. Same exact thing that happened. I called I called someone I knew. They gave me the number of someone in the youth and sports, whoever he was. This during Ellen's time or just before she left. And I said, listen, here's the opportunity. The kids just have to be prepared. This is what they have to do. This guy tells me how much, like, what's in it for me, and we can do it here. We'll name you president of American football here. Like, I want a title. I'm like, dude, I don't care about your titles. I'm just saying, do we have any students that can take advantage of this opportunity? Is there a soccer? And this was for soccer at the time. Is there a soccer thing that they can take advantage of? Prepare them. And these are tests. I'm educated. I will send you some of the tests, the prep tests. And this guy was more interested in what's in it for him. And here's what I'm trying to say. Our people are so desperate.
So Peter, we got somebody on the call on the line. Thank you so much, folks. Yes. So, caller, what is your name? Where you're calling from, and then what's your input? So, first, state your name, where you're calling from, your input. Yes.
I'm no Sioux more than Pambada, calling from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I just called in to tell you guys thank you for the show tonight. The show is so mature. I love how everyone having the time to speak and no one talking over the front. I really appreciate every one of you guys. And thanks to my big brother J. Rennie Dapo, he always saying the truth to Liberian people. And thanks to my man Judah, Lofa Judah, for responding to my comment. So that's what I just wanted to say for the maturity on the show tonight. It's so great. I pray that every other platform can be like this. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, let me land on what I was saying.
Okay,
Our people are so desperate. And it goes back to what I was thinking, right? When a police officer pulls you over in the United States, and you could be one of the biggest drug kingpin, what people don't do, and the expectation is not that they could easily say to this police officer, I'll give you $500,000. Let me go. People don't do that here. Why is that? Because those officers, they don't believe that is worth what they're getting. If they were desperate, they probably will take that, because at one point America was a very corrupt country when it comes to that with government. Our people are so desperate, and they're so greedy. Right. And I don't know if it's not more desperation than greed, that they're willing to anything. What's in it for me? How am I, like, if you go to Liberia right now, you go in the street, our police officers are panhandlers. They're panhandlers. You can get away with anything in Liberia by giving, because they're so desperate. Here's why that's a major problem. Our extraction industries. The gold, there is someone who's supposed to be watching how much gold is being taken out of the country and how much taxes. First of all, I don't know why we're selling gold. That's a different debate for a different day.
Yes, please. Yeah.
What if that guy's being paid $100,000 or 50 or 20? $5,000. Do you think he's going to be honest and tell the government just how much gold these people took out the country? The people at the borders, the people at the airport. Because our people are so desperate, that's a national security issue, major national security issue. So when that guy said, what's in it for me? That's the Liberian culture. This is why we need better leadership, new type of leadership, and new mindset. And the conversation has to start now.
Thank you. So can we go to Randy?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm just going to touch on what Jan and everyone has said so far. I think looking at almost 20 years of our political gain so far, because we started it since 2016. Hold on there, guys. My little puppy here is giving me a little hard time here, so I beg. All right, my apologies for that. So what I'm saying here is this, right? We are almost into the 20 years of our political freedom where we vote for people. And I said initially that we had gained political independence where we can now elect our lawmakers. We can now elect the president. We are making progress in our department. But as far as measuring the understanding from the general population that vote, we still have more work to be done in our area. Why? Because people are now voting on issue. Jan has talked about that. Coach, I talked about that. Yesterday, I talked about that. Because if we're voting on issue, like in the case of Jan, somebody call and say, hey, I have contact with the university. I want to make sure that they link up. If you are in our university and you want to get overseas education, you're going to tell your lawmaker who is on the academic or whatever committee, I need that in here. You have the access. So I think in our area of improvement, the fundamental civic education in the form of awareness, we need to start to pass that down on all the different platforms, educating our people how to vote on issue. Coach, you worry about your children. Likewise, myself and everyone here, including those in Liberia and those listening. Our children is our future. If we don't prepare for them now, while we have the time, they will inherit that problem. They will have to work to save their other children as well. Now, having said that, what we do need in Liberia now is structure. We don't have structure.
Your background is loud.
Yeah.
Sister Sandy, Brandy's talking. Can you mute that person? Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Sister Sandy, mute yourself. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Lufa, for that. So what we need now is a structure, and the structure should start from this platform and all other platforms. We got to discuss our society structure, looking at the people that we are engaging, because they are the one who qualify these people to go and vote. If we start that structure to say, look, before you vote for anyone, make sure you identify the issue in your community, whether it is security, health, and other stuff. The reason you need that is to save yourself from being sick, is to help your child grow up. We need that. But here is the challenge for the bigger platforms now and for the people of Liberia. And I will say this. What I have observed over the 19 years of our political interaction, most of the political parties, they are afraid of recruiting professional people. They are very much fixated on recruiting partisans. So the challenge now is, how do we bring professional Liberians from Europe, even from Africa, the United States, to integrate into the political party? Because there are some positions in the country that actually require a professional individual to handle. And with that, when we have a leader, like Coach said, we need the right person, and who will set that plan. If they set that plan with the professional people, and we have a structured platform that discuss this thing here, people who are suffering from political party or separation anxiety will see that freedom. Because many people are attached to the political party today because of political party separation anxiety. They feel very insecure when they go out there. But when they start to take their own initiative into their hands, there'll be no reason for political separation anxiety. I just want to put that in there. So
thank you, Brother Benny. Please hold your thought. We have a quarter on the line. I think that's another topic that we need to expand on. It requires that. How do we succeed at that? Okay. And maybe it can be for the next topic. How do we kind of disconnect from the political call of partisan or tribalism, and actually build a Liberia that we want. And how can we accomplish that Liberia that we want? Because then we have to build a bigger tent. How do you build that bigger tent? You got to bring people who have the experience, have the intellectual ability, have the willpower, and they're patriotic to create that space for everybody to have assets to the faucet. So, caller, what is your name? Where are you calling from, and what's your thought?
Yes, my name is Yama Biancoli. I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio. Yesenia, thanks for bringing me on. I'm really enjoying this topic. I have recently decided to enter the arena of moving Liberia forward. I've been in the back for a long time, but I enjoy this topic. I think the way I'm really only interested in moving forward. I'm not interested in criticizing or spending a lot of time on the historical rules. So but moving forward, we have to. It has to be intentional. It has to be sustainable, and we have to start fast. First, we have to take accountability. I think the poor people in Liberia have to get set up, really set up, to take to take their own monopoly of their lives. I say this, I mean that nobody's coming to save nobody. And we are the diaspora Liberians, we are enabling this dependency mindset. So let's take our accountability first. I ain't sending a dime home for nobody. If you cannot prove that you live in your yard, let's start with a little garden. You show me something, I give you something. You do for me, I do for you. Let's start there.
Okay.
When we take our responsibility, our accountability at diaspora Liberia, we in this bad process, then we can all sit together, form our own D Summit and Summit. I call it the Diaspora Summit. Now they got a G Summit of the world. Let's get together and let's write a detailed manifesto how we move our country forward, and then give it to the poor and say, okay, here is it. Go get fed up with this and empower your lawmakers to change. I rest it for now, but I love this topic. I wish we could make it cultural, like every Thursday. Let's talk some intentional and quick stuff, results right away that the people can know instead of us enabling them and just giving. I ain't looking for no scholarship from nobody. I'm looking for nothing like that.
Thank you, Cynthia. Let me take the other call. You sounded. I got one more call, guys. Let's take the last call, then we'll finish up. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for your input. Yeah. So let me get the other call. Okay. Caller, what's your name? Where you're calling from, please?
My name is Clarence Hill, and I'm calling from Arlington, Texas, just outside of Dallas.
Okay. What's your thought?
My thought is, Liberia has a lot of problems, but for me specifically working in the transportation sector here in the U.S., I believe, and I can only speak about the transportation sector. So I have noticed and I've observed in my years of working with the aviation sector, cities and economies grows with a very good airport or aviation sector. It will start with the airport in Liberia. This is where we're going to bring tourism in. This is where we're going to bring business people in. So I know there's so many.
The phone is ringing off the hook. Clarence, go on. Clarence, are you able to join us next Thursday evening to have a conversation on the expansion of Liberia? How do we?
Yeah, let him land on his thought, and then
okay, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
good.
Okay, good. And I will be willing to speak. I can only speak for the aviation.
And that's fine. Everyone here has a different career path. Lofa is a computer engineer. I'm into business and education. Peter is into education and coaching and development. Nya is into healthcare. So we are all from different aspects of the place. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I will do this. I will say this really quick, but for those I started my aviation career here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I started in Charlotte, North Carolina, when that airport only had like 150 flights a day.
Okay.
Now that airport is up to 900 flights a day.
Jeez.
And they're adding up.
Started in the early 90s in Charlotte. That economy in Charlotte has grown. That city all has grown, and it all started and grew around the development and the expansion of the airport. It brought in businesses, it brought in tourism, it even made the airport into like a connecting hub.
Yes.
Where people come in from different parts of the country, connect in Charlotte and go other places. So in Liberia, fast forwarding to what we need to do in Liberia, we got a lot of issues. We need to do a lot of things in Liberia. But if we can start with the airport, if we can fix the airport, if we can turn that airport around, it will bring in, and it's, look, this is a 25-year project to what we're looking at before Liberia can even be sustainable, before Liberia can even.
Hey, you coming down already and discourage me, no? I got 25 years, brother Clarence. Yeah, I don't have 25 years. I got good 20 years. At least it was green mean that. Yes, but go ahead. I get it.
Yes, but again, on the issue of Charlotte, North Carolina, the airport turned that city around. That airport turned that city around.
Do you know how many jobs it created? But think about it. When you come back on Thursday, you can give us some data and statistics so you can see how that changed. Yes.
All the data on that airport in North Carolina.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, brother Clarence. I will contact you.
Great show. Thank you. Thanks to every one of the panelists.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So let me get brother Prince here too. There he is. I got 3 people in line. Y'all please, you're already now.
Just put them on conference.
Yeah. Put them on conference.
Okay, yes, just merge all the calls and let them just talk. Then we can go.
All right, that's what I will do then. Okay. All right.
Then take them one at a time.
So yeah, is it okay for me to respond to the last 2 calls real quick while you do that?
Yeah, go ahead and call. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Okay. So a couple of things, right? Liberia and Liberians, we don't realize how rich we are. And when I say rich, I'm not just talking about natural resources. I'm talking about human capital. We have experts in almost every field. Yacindy used to say this a lot. Like, we are the middle class. We are the Liberian middle class. They don't even have to build a middle class, right? So if you think about how nations and cities are built, they want adults because you have to invest in kids to get them to a certain level. Someone else already invested in us, right? We have engineers, we have educators, we have IT experts, we have all these, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have everything we need. Here's why I mention that, not just to mention what Liberia has. When I'm telling you, I am not kind to Joseph Boycott because I think he's a bad human being. When I hear Joseph Boycott, when I heard him come as a stranger, what he was saying was, we have an oligarchy. He's not one of us. So therefore, the experts and the people with better knowledge or who have other information, you're not welcome in this circle. So our best of our best are not even being allowed to use their expertise. This young man is talking about airport and how much money he can bring. It brings in. Yeah, that's something that we can debate. But I bet you if you talk to other structural engineer like Randy, you'd be like, oh, let's build these towers and we'll bring in money. Well, and then we can debate that. But we have so many very intelligent people who are being blocked out because the good old boy system would not let them in. We can no longer allow that. And it can be because of partisan or whatever. I don't care. It's about our children's future first. Secondly, the young lady who was speaking earlier, she said, I'm not going to help them with nothing. And let the Liberian people do it themselves. Let them get angry enough. Here's what I know from studying world governments. I don't know of any any revolution. This is what we need. A revolution is just a major change in the way things are being done currently. I do not know of any revolution. I'm going to name major revolution. I'm talking about the Cambodian Revolution, the Vietnam Revolution by Ho Chi Minh. I'm talking about the bigger revolution, Russian Revolution, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the Cuban Revolution. There is now one revolution, if you study them, that was sparked by locals. The Mexican Revolution, it was always either the people that called Creole, and Creoles were just locals who were educated outside the country who came back and they were exposed to something else. So I'm saying we do have a responsibility to spark it. Okay. That's why there's this thing called the immigrant spirit. Why is it that foreigners can come to this country and go ahead really fast and people who have lived here for generations after generations don't get to do that? Well, because it's a mentality thing, right? Someone has to spark it, and it has to be us. We're not trying to enable them, but the truth of the matter is we have to be practical. We have to be pragmatic, like I said earlier. This is how it's worked. This is how it's going to work any other place. We cannot set unrealistic expectations for Liberia when no place else has done that before. Okay? Sure. The last thing I want to say is Stockholm Syndrome. Do you know that there were slaves that fought against slavery being ended because their masters were good to them? Stockholm Syndrome. Do you know that there were people, Jewish people in concentration camp who said, I'm not.
That's what was called the in-house slavery.
Yes, it's okay. They were in concentration camp. They watched their fellow Jewish people die, get put in the gas chambers, right? And they were okay with it. And there were apologists now in Israel that would say, you know what? I understand why the terrorists is bombing us. Stockholm Syndrome. Sometimes the victims just sometimes empathize with the person, the victimizers. So it's up to us. I'm not saying those people have no responsibilities in this. I'm saying it's up to us to change things if we believe it should, it can be changed. And no, it doesn't need no 50 years, brother. Okay? And I'm saying it from my expertise. I've watched other people do it. I watched the Southeast Asian nation countries. I'm talking about from Singapore to South Korea to now Vietnam.
Peter, can you hold your thoughts for me? I mean, I will just take this last 3 calls and then we all will finish up. Okay. Guys, if you're listening to your TV, please lower it. I'm gonna have Brother Jacob come on and then Gwen, then the person with 443 will talk. So Jacob, go ahead.
Good afternoon, good evening, guys. My brother Jan, brother Julius, and the rest. But brother Reggie was saying something. I think that's very, very important.
Okay.
So I just came from Liberia.
Yeah, I saw you.
I don't know when Liberia going to be better, but I want people. I think this is the right time now to start doing that, to educate our people how to vote. Because Liberia, what I saw, since I've been here, I've not been to Liberia for a month. This is my first time spending 1 month in Liberia. And nobody cared what happened when it happened. It's just a don't care place. Education is very difficult. But because our people are not there trained and to be educated to tell them my vote is important. So people are suffering. Because some people are in our house, they're not going to be there. But the people are voting there. Somebody for $20, they are taken from Kidmont to Morocco, from Morocco to Kidmont, they have to go vote for $20. Somebody die in the process. So that's what we are doing. So if we really want to do this thing, number one is put the education of our people. Otherwise, we're not going nowhere. I'm not lying to you people. Because what I saw, if I say talk to somebody and say, well, you in America, you're not here. That's the first thing they would tell you. Yeah. You're in America, then you think everything will be very important here. Because they put not get the education in the way of voting. And our people know. They know our people. So we get a long way to go.
Thank you, Brother Prince. Thank you. Let me go to Gwen, then I will get the next person. Thank you, Brother Prince.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you. Please share the show. Thank you for your voice. Thank you. I saw you when we were in Liberia, and that's something that we can talk about. We've done it here via the other way, but you got to support those who want to lead. All of us have to support. I think Peter has something to say where I say you got to support your radicals who want to lead this charge. So we can't do it on our own, you know. But Sis Gwen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Are you okay, Ma? I'll call to check on you.
Yes, I know. I'm pleased to listen to your show that day. After listening to your show, the next morning I got in news. So thanks for checking on me.
Yeah, I am sorry.
Wanted to say that we are the solid middle class, the diaspora, the solid middle class of Liberia.
Correct.
And we have a lot of things to bring to the table. Living abroad, we have all specialties here that we can contribute to the development of the country. However, I've mainly called because I listened to the fellow who was talking about the airport, about how the airport was built and it brought a lot of jobs to North Carolina. That's a very good thing. However, I believe the entire infrastructure of our country is so damaged that we will really not attract tourism easily just by building the airport. The road that leads the entire infrastructure of the country, which includes the roads, the hospitals, electricity, I mean, it all needs to be fixed. And only the government, the main government, Team Monrovia will be responsible, or they have the financial power to fix those things. We go into Liberia every year, you even see the airports that they have there, the trolley system that brings the bags, still not functional to the capacity it should be. If a lot of things don't even come through the airport. You see people standing all around grabbing your bags just to get some money from you. You get on that road to go from the airport to Monrovia, you see how damaged the road is. Now, the president that came in, he brought his arrest agenda, which the first thing was agriculture. I think someone was saying he still hasn't laid out a plan, like how he plans to implement all these things he put on his agenda. Because the first pillar of his agenda, which is agriculture, I don't think he even put $2 million into
the budget,
into planting rice or anything to move that project forward. The roads they talk about is the second pillar. The $22 million that they took, you see the roads are still not drivable. That's why he's using helicopters to go short distances. Another one, he said education is a part of his something. University of Liberia been closed now, from what I'm getting, almost a year. They've been like 2 semesters. 2 semesters is like a year when you go to college, because if you decide to not go to school summertime, 2 semesters is like a year. But like 2 semesters now, the children not going to LU. So education not even a priority anymore. He talked about the rule of law. They themselves cannot even follow the rule of law. The ruling that the court bring in, interpreting it and making it seem that comprehension is such a big issue for Liberians. When we Liberians, English is our first language. So all these things, I mean, it boils down to bad governance. And in as much as people get upset, like when we talk about Joseph Burka not being competent, not being up to the task, and we knew, some of us knew, and we didn't shy away from telling the people. Because you look at people, their past record, their past history. If you work with somebody for 12 years and the person can't even vouch for you to stand behind you, there must be a red flag. When we explain all of these things, our people say, oh, the papi wanted to persecute Ellen, our Ellen, he support him. It's been 1 year since he been there now. Why he persecute Ellen yet? He ain't even talking about persecuting Ellen yet. So you see all these things, and you know the papi he's not going to do. 1 year is gone. Before you look, the second year will be gone, and will be right where we started. Nobody getting young. We keep, like, the time is passing, like almost since the two Unity Party term of ruling plus CDC that 18 years.
Yeah.
The whole, from baby getting pregnant to being an adult.
Yeah.
And nothing is being done.
Yeah.
So we now said, we always said we will have to educate our people, and the people got to be desperate enough to want change. They got to be desperate enough to know this. We are worth more than what they are giving us. And that can happen with us educating them and let them just work it out and see what they want for themselves. So Thanks for the show.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it. Caller from 443, please state your name and give us your input, and then we'll go back to the panelists so we can close up. Take turn to close up. Last 4 digits, 0730.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Please call your name and where you're calling from and state your thought, please.
So, my name is Jacob Evapo.
Jacob, yeah, what's your thought, sir?
So, I would just talk on some things that you people on the show saying.
Okay.
I heard we were talking about scholarship. People talking about scholarship and other stuff. But Liberia problem, we got huge problem in Liberia. And the thing in Liberia, we don't know what we're doing. This is a country that we don't know. Look at Burkina Faso. And the 7-year-old boy, little boy, I call him my son because of my age. I can born him. And the time he was born, the next year I graduated from high school. I call him my son. Look at just that little boy. He just put down a factory, tomato factory, $12 million. He put it down. But there's all Latin countries, people who don't do it for nothing. They their pay is more than even a career people who in the country. They don't care for nurses, they don't care for doctors. Representative, they call them representative. Any of you sitting on the show here, you people are having your own company. You get called what kind of job you will give it to him to start with first. Hey, you get called to your company. What kind of job you will give it to him? These kind of people, they sit down in the country, you give them for nothing job. And then we people there as a citizen, we talk of feeling. I see somebody talk about Waka, it get Waka people back. You talk about Kwame, you get Kwame people back. And the career people don't say nothing. The company, the Liberia we want to get, look, we don't get in Liberia. Liberia get a long way to go. The airport business that the gentleman that was talking about the airport, that place was not airport. World War II, when America was looking for a place to launch, they went to pay that thing. Liberia not taken to be their property. When those people left, they began their airport. They don't even put one airport down. Go and see Ouagadougou. They look for putting the biggest hospital in the whole of West Africa. People will be going there. All that scanning machine. Don't take me for it. Google it, you will see it. The airport again, he constructing. When I went to Ouagadougou airport was in their capital city. When he landed, you will see the whole city. They look for move from there. He carried it to different place. But they want all Latin country. They sit down, sit down the wall, the coal fire. Same report the fire. How many updates they have given to us? Same work I thought I was saying. We will never hear any update. Then we were saying the FBI were giving an update on everything, the criminal, then they arrested, everything they were telling us, and up to now we still know the update. But still, what I thought that was it. So that country you are talking about, let me tell you, we got a long way to go. Anybody there will be fit. Anybody go there to put money in their pocket to move from there. Waka will put his own money. You get call now, he's picking opposition. He just passing up and down like chicken without no hay. Then the other pass around like chicken without no hay. Oh, Yasini, let me tell you, we look, I will be bold enough. But wasting our time. If you just something to do, I said, so let me tell you, I got to go and have apartment complexes. I read in Liberia. But I'm not going to lose my sleep over Liberia problem. Liberia problem never finish. Bunch of children that go sit there and they call them. The only thing that will finish Liberia problem today, you have to take it from me, except a military take over Liberia and dissolve all the constitution. Break down the constitution. Take all the constitution. Who military person?
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. I will call you after the show because I'm poor in trouble here.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that report.
Okay, Peter, Randy, Lofa, and Yan, there you have it.
I will go first.
Each person take about 4 minutes each. Land, close. Say what you got to say. Close. You got 4 minutes. So we got about the 4 minutes.
I'm begging you, please. Peter, I'm pretty sure you'll be okay with it. I just want to respond to a text that I got in a comment Martin made earlier prior to his departure, that he was denied access to the show. That is, that is a lie. Okay, because I sent Martin the link. Since Cindy sent him the link, I believe twice. So Martin was not denied access to the program tonight. That is a lie from the bottom of hell. The link is still in my inbox. I personally sent it to him. Okay, and it says just Cindy told me she sent it to him. So if he was not opportune to come on, he should simply say probably due to technical problem or whatever problem he had, he may not have been able to come on. But to sit here and say he was denied access to the program tonight, and then that is just, you know what, that's a lie. I just wanted to say that. And then Peter, go ahead before people leave. That's a lie. Martin was given the link. He refused to appear.
Okay. Thanks, Lofa. First of all, yeah, thanks for providing this opportunity for us to add our voice to our democracy. I think it's extremely important to hear different perspectives and different views. I disagree with the last caller, in that things wouldn't change just because I have perspective. I've seen it change in other places and change quite fast when people resolve to change things and they pick the best leaders and they put their country first, and it changed quickly. And that's what I was trying to land on before we left. All those countries I named, it happened between 1940. This is all post World War II. Between 1945 to 1965, those countries are up and running by themselves. So this is stuff, again, things that we can debate. Here's where I want to close. One of my favorite comedians, his name is David Chappelle.
Peter, may I beg your indulgence? Ben want to call him. Can we, because you told me people are calling. Should we take this call, please?
Ben who? Benjamin Jonah?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, please.
Bring Ben.
Bring him on. Bring him on. Bring Benjamin Jonah. I was just kidding.
Okay, that would be the last, because a lot of people still calling.
Let Ben call him. I was kidding.
Ben will not talk anything. I'll put me on trouble.
Nah, he won't say nothing about anybody's death here. I'll cut him off.
Ben?
He snored.
Okay, Peter, quiet. When you call, he will hold. Go ahead, Peter.
Okay, so I wanted to quickly tell a quick story, and then I'll just listen for the rest of the people. One of my favorite comedians, his name is David Chappelle. David Chappelle has a bit, and he was talking about how he was taken advantage of by Netflix. And he goes into this story about it's happened to him more than once, that people took advantage of him and he was powerless to do anything about it. Here's the story he tells that I want to tell. You guys know that game? I don't know how it's called in Liberia. The game with 3 cards where you can flip over and then pick the right card. Which one's the red card? Which is the red card? And you pick it and you're always wrong. And what's that? If anyone knows the name of that game, you can type it or whatever. But here it's called 3.
Lost. I have to call it. You take day you win. You take day you lost.
Yeah. So that game, right? So here this country is called Three Cars Monte is the name of the game. Dave Chappelle goes into the story. He said he met this young lady, and this story to me is very important. So just forgive me for one quick second. Let me tell it. He said he met this young lady in New York for the first time. He was doing comedy, and he had some money. He did a show. He went on the road, and he made some money. So when he came back, he goes, I made enough money for the first time as a comedian where I could pay my rent, and I had a little bit of money in my pocket to spend. So on his way home, while he's waiting for the bus, he sees someone playing a game, right? And he's watching the game from afar. And he said, I noticed that one of the cards have a bend on it. The red card has a bend on the edge. So he's watching people play and people are winning. He goes, I can double my money. I'm going to play. He goes in and plays. He goes, the guy does the card. You take this, you win. You take this, pick the red card. And he goes, he saw the card with Ben, and he goes, with all my might, I point at that card. There it is. The guy flipped the card over and it was black. He lost his little money he had to take that girl that he really wanted on a date. He goes, that broke him. So he goes, he was so hurt that now he has no money, even though his rent is paid, but he has no money. He can't take this woman out. So he goes, I didn't leave. I sat back and watched to see how people were winning. And what he noticed sitting back was all the people who were winning were with this guy. They're in on the game. He goes, he's watching, and now he's hurt. Now he's angry. Another person just like him comes around, puts their money down. But before the person put this money down, Dave Chappelle said he stood up and said, this is a scam. All those guys are in on it. He didn't use that language, but that's what he was saying. Those are all his boys. And then he said the guy who was the ringleader, the guy who was doing the card, grabbed him and said to him, young man, don't you ever come between a man and his money. I will kill you if you ever did that. He goes, the guy saw the fear in his eyes. That's the only reason he let him go. He was very, very, very afraid. And the guy goes, don't you ever do that again. I tell that story to say this about Liberia. It's a 3-card mountain scheme. The entire government. Look at the people in the government. They're all in on it. They've all benefited. Look at Joseph Boyka. Look at Ellen. Look at the people look at Gafuan. All those people. Look at Young B. Conga Lawrence. All of them. Look at Wea. They are all in on this game that they're playing, and they're dividing the country money amongst themselves. And any outsider who comes and tries to break up the game, they all turn on you. Look at what they did to Cummings. They call him a fraudster. This is a man who control an entire company, a Fortune 500 company. He could have stolen money. He could have had girlfriends. He could have given people no scandals. They turned that man into a homosexual overnight. They turned that man into a desperate fraudster because he was trying to break up their system. Here's a man who said, you don't even need to pay me. I have enough money. Allow me to set up systems. All of them turn on him. You know why? Because they're all in on the game. Guys, if we want to change our country, we must have a revolution. When I say a revolution, the way things are being done has to be completely changed. And only people who can do it is us. The people who they cannot hold a gun to their head. They cannot threaten because we are outside of that. We don't depend on those people for our daily bread. Liberians, for as long as we allow the system to continue, the system is going to continue. I said this before. I'm going to say it again over and over again. It's going to take radicalism for the system to change. When I speak of radicalism, I'm talking about it is going to take people who are, because when you try to unseat those people, they're going to come after you viciously. The type of people who can withstand that are radicals. You must support your radicals. Without that, there is no revolution that is successful. And there's never been a revolution that has taken place without radicals leading it. No revolution. So we're either serious about our country and the direction where we're headed, or we are not. And if we are, we have to prepare that those people are willing to kill you, because when I say kill you, whether figuratively or literally kill you, because this is how they have fed their families for a very, very long time. And something got to give. And so we're either up for the fight or we're not. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Let me go to Nya. Nya, go ahead. You got 4 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Yasendi. Thank you, Lofa. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Big Brother Randy. Thank you for, it's a privilege to be on the platform with you today, with all of you today. We have a long way to go. This is a son that I sing all the time. Our parents in Liberia stand under the hot sun in the rain to do heavy stuff on their hair, go in the marketplaces to sell and be able to send us to school. When we graduate, we become a praise singer instead of, going out there to be innovative and create that avenue that when they can't have the energy to sell, to support us no more, then we can step in that gap to be able to support them, you know. But when we finish high school, when we finish college, we get all the degree become, you know, something that we just put on the wall in our living rooms, in our rooms and what have you. Then we stand out there, we become a praise singer to those who, in, you know, keeping us in this condition that we are in. This is not fair. We have to be innovative. We have to stand up for a cause that if you can stand up today and say, look, I will go hungry today for better tomorrow. You have to do that, because change cannot come easily. Look at where all the changes have come in the world. Like in Ghana, when Jerry Ronan came up, Jerry Ronan did not have, you know, that sympathetic mind, because he knew that the Ghana he was fighting for then. So today we have to come up and stand up, like my brother P is saying. We need a revolutionaries in the country. Look, I work in the prison here. I work as a quality control executive here in the state of Indiana. Why should we have prison in the country, then government officials buying furnitures, you know, from overseas? They're buying furnitures from Ghana. They're buying furnitures from other countries. You know, no innovations in the country. Prisons in around the world as one of the biggest revenue generation area in the country. You know, so we have prisons. Like what we do here, even the military, the U.S. military, all their equipment is being made in prison here in the U.S. That's like all the furniture you see in those stores, all the car parks, all the car brakes you see all around here is being made in the prison. But today, our prison is one of the least area that policymakers will ever turn their attention to. You know, so we have to have a leader who have the vision, who can implement policies, who can put in place a revenue that, you know, an avenue that can generate revenue and create jobs for her citizens. We need that leader. Today, it's not like that in Liberia. Every day we come on here. When we come on here, we take our time, take a time from our family, time that's supposed to be sleeping to go to work tomorrow. We sit on here, you know, come out and educate our people. It turns out to be noise maker. It turns out to be people that we don't have nothing to do. We just come here, we make noise. We have work to do, folks. We have work to do. You know, my brother P said Stockholm syndrome. I term it a dependency syndrome. The dependency syndrome is, you know, we are stuck in our mindset to the extent that the little things, you know, we settle for the little things in the country. We settle for the little things in the country. Things that we need to do for ourselves. We wait when people are supposed to create that avenue for us to generate revenue for ourselves and put food on our family table. They will come and take those resources for themselves and put it in their pocket and take little and give it to us. We go on radio station and call. When we call, we're singing praises to them. How change will change. Peter knocked it on the head. He not a nail on the head. He said, when us out come and try to change that system, trust me, we saw it during the CPP day. When Cummings came, when Cummings was trying to put something in place that would benefit all of us, the terms in, they call him all sort of names, they put all out of crimes on him. You saw what he went through. Today,
thank you, yeah.
He wanted to get it today. So I want to say thanks, sis, yeah. Thanks, Brother Lofa. Thanks to all of you on the platform and all of our listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Brother Randy, you're closing. You got 4 minutes.
Yes, a very good conversation. I think it ends today, but the issue will be communicated and the conversation will continue tomorrow and beyond, because we are very challenged as a country and people. I don't know, but I would like to leave the question with every one of you guys. I don't know whether I'm just hallucinating or is it true, I have come to some realization that most of the countries that were under the colonial power, they are not getting their act together. And I think because Liberia did not go through any sort of colonization, so we kind of like relaxed. Like we were spoiled because when countries were going through the colonial power, they saw what people did to them and they said, when we take power here, we're going to show to people. And I think a prime example is the guy we talked about today from Burkina Faso. Now, with that, yeah, with that being said, this is how I would like to close my show. I don't know where you guys can see my stuff here. All right, so this is a Venn diagram right here. All right, this Venn diagram, I just want to bring that close so that you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see that.
We can see it. We can see it, Randy.
All right. So in the Venn diagram, we talk about political class. We have had political class since 2005, but I think there are two classes that are still missing, and that is the involvement and participation of the middle class, which provide economic strength. I think Coach talked about that. And then we also need the professional class. The professional class join with the middle class. This is a Venn diagram. We all did Venn diagram in school. You draw the three circles. So one circle represents the political class. The second circle represents the professional class. And the third circle represents the middle class. In the middle is the Liberian people. So whatever challenge or challenges we have, I strongly believe with that plan, because the plan will become the entire Venn diagram that we will disseminate in every area. Politicians will talk about the issue. The middle class will be able to support financially, but the professional class will provide the education, develop the framework, and will monitor who and where we want to be. Is it going to be easy? No. The guy from Liberia is someone who I really would like to talk to. You know, when people go on the ground, they do what we call Gamba war. Gamba war is actually looking at things physically and be able to identify the cause and the root cause of the problem. So until we, in my opinion, can develop a strategic plan that will be principally focused on teaching our people, because when somebody says you're not on the ground here, we here, that to me is a challenge that we must be able to understand the causal factor, the root cause, and provide the corrective measure to solve that problem. If not, yeah, I know you're afraid, but here is a solution. We're going to drag it into 2065. And you know what's going to happen? They got a plane taking off. We always start to go to our great beyond. And then by the time we reach 2065, which is the Alpha generation, the Alpha generation started coming on the earth since 2013. By the end of 2025, they will already be here, because the 13 years, 11 years old, by 2030, they'll be 23 years old. By the time we get to 2065, they will be 52 years old. There will be technology upon technology that will change things. And then gradually, people who are stuck in their mindset will gradually be gone. It's like the Joseph Jikin era, the third man era, they will be gone. And I believe the change will not come from Liberians. The change will come through technology. Someone sitting there and see what the Burkina Faso president is doing. Like, geez, guy, I'm talking to the guy in Burkina Faso. This is what they're doing. I'm seeing it. We have to change. That's just my theory. Can it be shorting? Absolutely. But the question there is, are they committed? How do we change the guy who say you're not here? Because when you tell him, say, look, we need someone that comes to be better. Well, the people say that, man, I only want what in it for me. So how do we overcome those challenges? That is the challenge that I see that we need to fight. And the way to strategize is to make sure that every platform begin a voter and individual education. If you own your community, you know what is right for you, you know what is wrong. Lofa talked about this, and this will be my last point. If every community across our country is able to list what they have, and whoever comes in there and say, these are the things that we need, that person become a monitoring device from the people. They're going to measure his performance, checking those lists. If you don't meet the performance, then no need of you coming back, because you already know what they gave you. You didn't make it. So the performance as well as the IQ will be integrated, and they will develop their community agenda. They will vote on it. They will debate on it. Somebody talk about debate, because at the time people debate on it to get the right person and stuff like that. So the conversation continue, and it was a pleasure joining you guys here. Like Lofa said, we are not debaters. When we see the importance of the conversation, we just come in. So it was just my instinct. I said, yeah, please bring me on, and thank you so much. Sis, for bringing me on. You guys.
It's great having you. I think it was a great conversation. With from a different field of studies and different ideology, but it seemed Liberia, same thought process, how to go to move forward. Thank you, Brother Randy, for being here. Lofa.
So let me close on this. No, few things I want to highlight here. First of all, let me thank all of you guys, Randy, of course, Peter, and of course my brother Jan, all of you guys for you know being a part of tonight's conversation. I think it was indeed another stimulating conversation, but much more educative. And I think our people appreciate the fact that we were able to do this. And I hope that we are much more engaged. Somebody said, Lofa, uh, what you doing here? You should do it on the closing argument. Part of the reason why I make myself available on various platforms is not because I feel like I want to be behind the camera or seen on the camera. I'm on the closing argument, and Sage City will tell you, of course, I'm here whenever I want to. She modified. Sometimes she calls me, I'll be like, I'm not coming on today. I will purposely see the link and try not to come on, but I'm here almost every time, and I host this show too. So I'm proud to say I'm a part of this platform, and I'm on SKTV and, of course, my network across Africa. But here's what I want to highlight. Part of why I believe we are struggling is because of the opinion leaders. Amen. Our opinion leaders. They're killing the momentum that is supposed to take us to that extra level or extra step. Reason being is, if you are to do your own evaluation of the recent elections, those who were considered opinion leaders were either going the wrong directions because they felt like, okay, the people believe in us because we live with them. Okay, and if you were to do your own background evaluation, like it is often done in the real world, in quotation, real world, they don't simply hire you. They do their own background investigation after you have been interviewed. First of all, they review your resume, invite you for an interview. After the interview, they conduct reference check, and then after the reference check, you are given a probationary period to perform. And then if you perform, then you become a permanent employee, or they simply let you go. And the probationary period are timed out. Either you have the 90 days or whatever it is, depending on what institution you work for. I sat here tonight and I saw one of Liberia's permanent opinion leader openly wrote that an individual IQ is not based on performance, and I said to myself, these are the people who think that they can sincerely transform a country. Hey Lord, what have we done to you to treat us this way? I read Martin Cully's statement not once, not twice, but 3 times, and I thought that it was an error. I thought he made an error in what he attempted to say. Are we sincerely serious? Listen to your opinion leaders. Watch their behaviors. How is it that we can transform Liberia? The bigger problem that I think we are, the challenge is those who portray themselves as they know it all appears as the problem maker, because they are at the end of the day at the very bottom of just a bare minimum understanding of what should be done. And I just want to be very simplistic, because somebody said you guys using big words, so we will not use big words on here, but we will just simplify the conversation. You cannot expect anything other than the decision that you make in life. My dad often says to me, okay, don't be an I-7. Don't be an I-7 Be the man you are in the dark, in the light, wherever you are. Be the man you are. If you sincerely believe in what you believe in, stand for it. And that's why I feel like I feel every time. I don't care what you think about me. I do what I do based on my conscience. You can disagree with me. We disagree, but at the end of the day, and that's why a lot of people will say, you and Mose, you guys are cool. You and Duke, JJ, you guys, yeah, these people, because I don't care. We can disagree on stuff. At the end of the day, we move on because we disagree on stuff. Moses and I, we can disagree on stuff, we move on. I hope there will be a time where Liberians will sincerely understand that the truth idea of development and growth for Liberia is based on individual decision to build themselves. When we start to do that, then we would hopefully transform our community, and then we will move it into our cities and the country as a whole. But thus far, those who are benefiting from the country, says Cindy, I've had opportunity to speak with people. It's not about Liberia though. It's all about themselves. What can they benefit from those in government today to enrich themselves so that they can prepare themselves to serve in government tomorrow? The same way those who are in government today are enriching themselves and giving out handouts so that they can remain in government so that their kids can benefit. And that's why it becomes a little bit tough, and I would say tougher, in order for us to transform. But I am yet to say I put the flag up, I give up. I don't think it will have to take us to 2065 for us to really transform Liberia. I think we will have to put in a lot of work. We will have to unite. We will have to, bridge the little gap. Reach out to Randy Dapo and say, Randy, the misunderstanding we had 2023, we're beyond that. Look at Liberia now. Yes, Sandy, we had a misunderstanding. We had that confrontation. It was about Liberia, but we are beyond that. Let's move forward. Where and how can we meet so that we can identify potential leaders, not self-proclaimed leaders who wants to move Liberia forward in order for us to succeed in this process? But I refuse to give up. I remain consistent and committed to the fact that I believe within myself, my son will go to a much more developed and much better Liberia than it is today. He will be given quality health care. If he wants his kids to go to school in Liberia, quality education will be provided to them because he will be a part of this fight. And I am very grateful to be a part of this commitment to fight for a better Liberia, regardless of my position, my financial status in society, or who may like or don't like me. I remain committed to the fight for a better Liberia. And I am very positive. Before I take my last breath, there will be a better Liberia.
Hey, can I say something quick?
Go ahead, Randy. Go ahead.
The 2065 is a rainbow.
That's a rainbow projection.
If you guys can beat that to what everything Lofa Jr. said, I'm just challenging you guys. That's all I'm doing. Anybody who listen to that, I'm just challenging you guys. So if Lofa Jr. believe in his plan, City, coach, anybody listen to me, all I want to see is what coach said. Show me that plan that will shortcut by 2065. If not,
Randy,
Randy, yes, sir.
I thought to keep this confidential, but because of that statement you just made, in March, I will be in Liberia because I have made a plan in March. I will be in Liberia in March. The first and second week in March, I'll be in Liberia, and I'm going there with a plan, not individual plan, but there are a few people who have agreed to work with me in the modernization aspect of the certain things, and I will be a part. I will call you. I am risking I will go there, and I will be critical. That's why I keep telling people I will be critical of this government until I go there. When they deny me the access to do what I want to do, my partner and myself, then I will come back again, and then I will throw the bombs on them.
That's the radical approach from coach now.
Yeah.
So before we go, and Lofa, before I ask you to do me a favor in closing, but I wanted to say something to the four of you. I came on tonight a little bit dragging, a little discouraged, but I'm leaving very encouraged. Here is why. There are 5 people on this platform, different background, different expertise, different opinion, but same goal: to see a better Liberia, no matter how far out of sight it is. Possibilities. I also see hope. Everyone on this platform can help Liberia in a way. And everyone on this platform is a middle class. I know that for a fact because I know each of you. Okay, that Liberia did not create. So you have Peter on here, you got Randy on here, you have Lofa on here, you got Yan on here, you got me. I'm the oldest on this platform, per se. All right. And like I said, I came dragging, almost not thinking about Liberia today, the way I'm going back with it. So most of all, I have 4 now, like a glass bottle. We need this mindset. And to rub off when Peter said something, Peter said, I know David Chappelle, when see the desperation in our eyes, that we can come together regardless of what happened yesterday, to live a better approach. Peter talked to me this few days and said, we have to take a different approach. We got to be radical. And the people who cannot show up and show off must support the voices of the radical. If the goal is Liberia, it does not matter how many times you curse me. The goal should be Liberia. It does not matter how many times I fall down. If I fall, I want Peter to hold me up and say, yeah, I'm dragging you along. When you find your strength, we're going to go. This is what I got tonight here. Okay. This is what I got tonight. That it says, I am tired. No, yeah, you're not tired. You're not going to advocate your job, what you are supposed to do. And to all of you who call in, all right, somebody said something about Yeke. If you tell Yeke, I got to talk about Yeke a little bit. Yeke is the product of the environment. Yeke watched his brother be beheaded as he was trying to escape. Yeke was obeyed and forced to fight. Yeke is the residual impact of the greed that had captured and destroyed Liberia. Okay? If they say, I hear people say Yeke crazy. If anybody is seen in Liberia, in my opinion, okay, Yeke is the only one. He tells you, I'm going to support you. If you say you're going to do that, you're going to do what is right. Yes, did he take the wrong? I thought he needed to stand with us regardless of where the people were headed. But he said, this is where the people are going. And he's still standing up. Do I agree with his decision to follow those people knowing them? No, I don't. But if you ask what's wrong with him, what's wrong with him is what's wrong with me in the mall today. When somebody dropped a box and I scream and everybody asked what happened, that was my trauma. And I said, no, I thought I heard something because I thought it was bullet. I am almost 16 years old. The war happened to me because I left right after the first war, 35 years ago. And I still scream in the middle of nowhere, which is so embarrassing. Okay? So that's what's wrong with me. We all deal with this differently. But I love when Peter came in and said, when Peter called me in the I said, Peter, I'm tired. Peter texted me today. He texted me yesterday. So I have to get up. Brother Randy, you and I come a long way. A lot of people don't know this. Brother Randy is here because of my mother. Okay? Many times he has offended me. And then he will come in my inbox and I don't want to talk to him. But to come together on this platform tonight, that we're here teaching our people, educating our people, they're also on this line or calling in to educate us as to where we are, the resources available to Liberia. Liberia has everything for her to leapfrog herself. You know, the king of Saudi Arabia, when he started his plan, the first plan was 5 years to lay the foundation. That was the schematics he brought. When ABC interviewed him, why the rush? Why now? He said, I want my people to have good health care now. Why not now? I want my people to have the best education now, the best colleges now, the best water, safer water to drink now, the best hospital now. 5 years, that's what it took to build where Dubai will become today as a tourist destination. Destination for where you can leave your pocketbook in the street and somebody will bring it to you. 5 years. So if we are intentional, we got 5 good years to get out there, educate our people. The hardest thing in Liberia is, Brother Jacob called, Priest Jacob called and say the people not listening. When you're in Liberia, Lofa will tell you, Peter will tell you, Randy, you have not been there lately. Most of the people have no access. Most of everything that happened on social media. We pass the information on. Remember in Bwaka inaugural speech, he says the conversation starts on social media before it even get to them. So if you can afford $2 to eat, can you buy data? And we saw the people that we were putting data on their phone. Instead of cutting them off, they want to censor them because you don't have enough money. You put the $10 on your phone, they cut it off. You're taking away jobs creation because some of the children were creating content. They cannot afford to do that. Okay, this is what dictators do. Peter is a historian or a history teacher. He will tell you this is how dictators start. They start by taking away your free speech, your ability to think for yourself, your ability to express yourself, your ability to acquire knowledge and express knowledge. That's where we are. But I want to say tonight, this was a powerful show. People will not see that. We're people with different background, different belief system, different group of people. But what's unique about this platform tonight is we are first and foremost Liberian. And that what I see amplifying, and it gave me strength. I want to say to you, all of you, thank you. Let's do this again. Bring our own view and educate our people. I think all of you here, look like you're going in your community, make sure you put DSTV there and make sure the channel, the people can watch, even if you got to pay for it. I've been paying for this platform for 9 years. Okay, if you got to pay for it, so our people can get the news, so they can listen. It will educate them from the far. We did that, Peter. Then we do that for about 4 years on this platform, sending people in the street, in community, to listen to us live in the community and converse with us. That's what we have to do to get to our people. Brother Randy?
Somebody wrote a comment, Sister City. I'm sorry, I know we're done. Everybody, we can leave now, but I'm reading the comments here. Somebody said, you are the problem. They said you are of the problem we have in Liberia. So sometimes when people make these comments, I wonder, what are they basing the claim on? Is it just simply because she is not aligning with you politically, or he's not aligning with you politically, so she becomes the problem? Or you are just at a disadvantage where you cannot engage her intellectually? And by the way, that term intellectual, I hate to use intellectual or intellectualism, because in Liberia, anybody who is okrom with the dictionary and can utilize the dictions accurately and sometimes in the wrong context are considered intellectual or smart. So I don't like using that term often. But is this the reason why you feel like she's the problem or he's the problem? What is it that they're doing that cause you to think that they're the problem? When I disagree with Randy, I came up with several reasons why I disagree with Randy. Randy came back with why he disagreed with me. Why aren't you doing the same? Instead, you just say you're the problem. What is causing, or why do you think he or she is the problem? Then it makes you to be much more of part of the solution.
Lofa, I want to say this. I know it's too late, but
go ahead,
I call those people Civil War brains. You know that, yeah, they just know how to create conflicts. And that's all they know. Do you know that people call Martin Luther King a troublemaker? No, I'm saying Black people call Martin Luther King a troublemaker.
Yes, they did.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So to finish up, there's a video that I think is very powerful. That should have gotten maybe 3,000, 10,000 views. Okay, but that video only got about, I think, 89 views. I like to play a half of it, and the rest I will post it on my Facebook and people can listen to it. And I have to put disclaimer because my page is monetized and it's verified. So there's certain words that I can't use that will take it down or the way how you call it. So I got to put a disclaimer. But I like for Lofa to play that because my
I can't play. I took myself because I just upgrade my system. So we're gonna have to talk about that. I upgrade my system. I upgrade my system. You want me to say everything over here? Your problem? You see your problem?
To Georgia and upgrade my system. Okay, guys, I will put it on my page. But y'all listen up for a second before y'all go. I will hold y'all tonight. We got 7 minutes. We got 7 minutes before it's 11. Then y'all can go. So let me play that. Just listen to him, and I think it sounds almost like Peter to me to some degree. He makes a lot of sense. I sent it to Lofa. Really, 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 really powerful. He talked about the burning of but what we need to do, radicals. So I'm going to start to 11, around 10, and listen to him. Listen right here.
Those persons whom we elected of our own free will to lead, to protect, to create the conditions and circumstances for our prosperity, for our tranquility, for our health, for our development, for our improvement. Those persons that we elected for that purpose, they have demonstrated themselves to be completely unfit to lead. Period. Unfit to lead. They have no sense of nationhood. They have no sense of responsibility. They have no sense of duty.
You hear it?
They have no love for this country.
Yeah, it's loud and clear.
That is what this fire has demonstrated. Now, the fire happened this morning. We don't know, and we cannot jump to a conclusion that Mr. X or Mrs. Y started the fight. We don't know. It could have been an electrical fire. It's possible. But the causes of it can only be established through a proper investigation. And based on that investigation, will provide conclusions. But either way, whether the fire was deliberate, they call it arson, A-R-S-O-N, arson. Whether it was deliberately set in that building, or whether it is an electrical fault, it all boiled down to the same thing. That's the same thing, not different. It boiled down to the same thing because the building, before the Liberian people and before the international community, was destroyed and engulfed by fire. If it is awesome, that means that if there's somebody who deliberately put the building on fire, then it is a crime of treason. Make no mistake about it. It is treason. It is an attack against you. It is an attack against me. It is an attack against Liberia. From Lofa and Nimba in the north down to Buchanan, from the west, Kemba, across to Maryland. It's an attack on all of us. It's an attack on the government. It's an attack on the state. It's an attack on the nation. If it was indeed
The end is for you, Peter. Just listen up. Yes, he's coming.
But even if that's some other reason, even if they say that electrical fire, my people, but you're telling me something. We elect you of our own free will to go and represent us, to go and talk for us, to go and make things better for the country and for all of our brothers and sisters and fellow Liberians. The place that you go into every day.
Yeah, that every day they go there.
That the country first office. You will sit out there, you use the building, you come in and out every day, you using it, you have a meeting there, you discussing there, you discussing that. That same building, you will be there, the building will burn down over your head. If you can't take care of that building, where you are conducting, supposed to be conducting the nation's work, and where we are paying you $15,000 a month.
Yeah, that's 15 grand a month. Yes.
You will sit down there and carelessness. If indeed is electrical fire and carelessness, the nation's first office, and you call yourself fit, you are not fit. You don't belong there. You are wasting our time, and you are all of our lives in danger. And all of this has to stop. It has to stop now. So the question is, what has to be done? Because we can't just let this just slide. We can't just go.
Yeah, that we can't let this slide because they're about to put money in the budget and you're not going to hear anything about it.
But before we answer the question about what we've done, we need to ask ourselves the question. Because the other circumstance that preceded this fire that was happening before the fire, the House of Representatives is split.
Okay, I'm going to just end it right here.
Before the world. Today.
I'm going to end it so we all can go. I know everybody want to go. Yes.
Because of that.
Peter, I sent it to you, Randy. I sent it to you so you can listen. And yes, we can discuss it in the next discussion.
None of us are safe.
Yeah, that none of us are safe under this leadership.
People who we sent to do our work have demonstrated before the international community that not only they are not fit to lead, but they are incapable of leading. Because if they can occupy the building given to them as a gift, and then we pay them $15,000, you can sit out there in the building.
Yep.
That means protecting, that means coming to protect.
Nope.
They get to next to me, coming to protect. Once you come to fight for, it's not possible. Have a better quality life. To be able to bring change to this situation, then the sensible people, the people who love this country, the people who are here, the people who don't want to lose everything, we got to come together. So
that's what I wanted you to hear. I was saying that I want to say thank you to all of you. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you. It was a good show. It's 8. Oh, I went 3 minutes over. So good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to All Bless. Wow. It was a great show. It was. So I'm going to call it a night. Where is my banner? Where is that? Where's my banner? Oh, I don't even know. Okay, I'm just going to end. So I don't know where that is. Who